I'm Don. It's late. I'm up. Hi. How the heck are you, my friends? Glad to see you back here again. Well, I can't really see you, but I'm imagining you there. You're very good looking. You look very well. I like what you're wearing. It looks good on you. Anyways, enough of my nonsense. I'm here tonight to have a watch along of The Fly from 1986, the classic Cronenberg body horror masterpiece. Arguably the best body horror movie ever made. Maybe probably the best remake ever made too. Right there in the discussion. We'll get to that later. Anyways, I figured we would watch that. Oh, yeah, I see some people already pouring into the chat. We'll say hi to the folks that are coming in, and then we'll go ahead and start The Fly. I'm watching this one on Paramount Plus, but it's also on Hulu. So, otherwise, I always recommend owning it. So I own a copy too, but I'm not trying to dig it out of the boxes right now. I'm in transition. So let's see what we got going on here. Hey Don, I truly enjoyed the Fly remake, and one of those remakes that I enjoyed from the 80s was my favorite, and the second film is decent, but this film is still a masterpiece. I agree 100%, and welcome Juno, nice to see you, my friend. Yeah, as I was mentioning, this is arguably, the best remake ever made. A lot of people say that. The Fly has one of the most insane and serious carnage gores throughout, especially, and the final act goes very vicious and disturbing, and the casts are amazing. I agree. That is a very astute analysis, my friend. Can't wait for the Black Phone 2 coming out this week. Very excited. Didn't enjoyed the first one. Yeah, the first one caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. It's creepy film. I need to watch it sometime on here again. I've only seen it once. I'd like to watch it again. And you can't really evaluate a movie good until the second time. But a lot of uneasy creepiness. Stephen Kingish, as it should be. Cronenberg does some crazy shit in this movie in a good way. His films are crazy, insane, especially Videodrome. Yeah, I've did a watch along with Videodrome of my friend Matt Pugwall316 at Pugwall316 on YouTube, as well as the Horror Cat Dad. The three of us watched it one time. I've seen that movie probably 4 or 5 times in my life, and every time I see it, like and pay attention to it, it's so bizarre and weird, but it's so gross and creepy. That's another one that's up there for body horror. It's amazing. Hey, our friend Anthony Chabot is here. How are you, buddy? By the way, saw Smashing Machine. It was awesome. Oh, you liked Smashing Machine, huh? Yeah, I don't know. It's been getting bad. Well, I don't know. The reviews I haven't heard that bad of, but I know it hasn't been doing well at the box office. I'm curious to see what it does this weekend. Hey, Sean, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you. I came on and you were still going. I don't know if I was behind or what was going on there. That's why when I started, I was like, well, he's still in the middle of doing stuff. Let me see here. Sarah, hey, Sarah, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Still 2016 in my memoirs. Oh, well, that's awesome. You're taking your time on that year, Sarah. It's nice to see you. I'm sorry, I kind of was didn't respond as much as I usually do. You're awesome. Welcome, welcome. Let's see, Anthony. Yo, buddy. Cronenberg plays great as Dr. Decker and appearing in Jason X. Yeah, I believe Cronenberg also plays. Isn't he the he's the doctor in this, right? Isn't he the guy that's going to perform the abortion or whatever? I don't know. Owl versus Fly. My money on the Owl. Thank you, Patrick. Welcome, Cheetah. Nice to see you. Uh, my friend Patrick is the next. I don't know. Charlie Rose. I don't know. If you need a good interview, my man Patrick is the place to go find him. Amazing individual. I'm hoping to get a job, but government shutdown has delayed it. Yeah, it's messing up a lot of people. Hey, Karen is here. Hey, Don, Chad, how y'all love The Fly? Jeff Goldblum is one of my favorite actors of all time. And if they remade this film, but with a female lead transforming into a human fly, thoughts? Wow, that's an interesting question. Um, I don't know. Because on one hand, I'm sort of against the idea of gender swap, like where they take just a regular old character that was traditionally been a man, and then like for shock value or ticket sales, like let's make it a woman now. Like usually I don't like that. I'm like just invent a new character for a woman, something strong in that same vein, but no reason to try to steal somebody else's like property. But The Fly is such a vague concept, like as a horror movie thing. So it's almost like it's just another thing in the Fly universe. If there's such a thing. I don't know. It's a cool universe with Vincent Price and Jeff Goldblum and whoever would be cast in this movie. They've tried to make a bunch of different Flies to follow this up. I mean, there was The Fly 2, but a lot of people say that doesn't even count. We'll talk about that as we go. Oh, let's see here. Jen is here, horror queen. Nice to see you, Jen. How are you doing this evening? Welcome, welcome. Glad you could make it. I'm usually on so late, a lot of my friends can't ever catch me. No, I'm here now, Don. Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, as I was setting up lights and stuff, I was like, I didn't know if Sean was gonna be how long you were going. Let's see here. People saying hi to Anthony. Anthony said had a TV dinner and Pepsi for dinner. That's pretty awesome dinner. Juno, Toxic Avenger remake was a huge surprising. It did something different. I kind of want to see that. The Dinklage one. It came out like 2 years ago or something, but it couldn't find theatrical release, and then finally somebody picked it up and put it out in theaters and stuff. So then obviously that'll help boost any sort of resellability on streaming or home media or whatever. So it'll be more of a thing than it has been. But I'm curious about that movie. I don't know. It sounds interesting to me. I like it. Let's see here, Patrick. Thanks, Don. Sloppy hand heart for you. Oh, no problem. You have always been a really awesome friend to me on here, and I appreciate it a lot. Hoot hoot plus meow, right? Hey, speaking of meow, hey Juno, Tux Avenger was solid. Nice to see my friend Larry, the horror cat dad. I was just mentioning you. The Peacemaker was a letdown. I'm looking forward to Lanterns. Oh, okay. I put on Peacemaker one day after I watched the new Superman because I'd heard Peacemaker was kind of intertwined with it, and he was in the new Superman and stuff. So I put it on one day while I was doing things, and some of the background jokes I heard made me laugh out loud. But I only got through like 6 episodes of season one. I haven't seen season two. I don't know. I heard it's worth seeing, but I don't know. I'll when I get to it, we'll have a discussion, my friend. Let's bring back the cat house. Yo, Cheetah. All right, so now that we are caught up, let's go ahead and get the fly started. All right. Like I said, I'm watching this one on Paramount Plus, um, but it's also on Hulu, which I have through Disney Plus. I don't know. I hate the streaming world, you guys. It gets on my nerves. Let me get this off of the screen so my face isn't blocked. Let's unblock the moneymaker, okay? All right. Yeah, everybody just left. So let's get started on this. And I am at the 20th Century Fox logo. This has smoking, sexual contents, violence, frightening scenes, flashing lights, foul language, and nudity. And a cantankerous baboon. Um, yeah, Toxic Avenger remake was a big surprise. I'm not a huge remake fan, but this did something different. Didn't copy and paste the original, and then did its own thing, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Yeah, that's one I enjoy. I was thinking earlier about remakes I enjoy because when I think about this, and one of the things people do mention about this is it's one of the best remakes ever made, if not the best. Um, I don't know. Some of them. What's your favorite remake in the chat? Give me just any genre, whatever it is. What's your favorite remake? A lot of times remakes don't work. Um, I'd say this is obviously top of the heap because they so frequently don't work. I thought Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead was actually good, so that's divisive. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I just wouldn't want the task of trying to remake Romero. That sounds like a losing prospect to me. You know, um, when I think of like Stephen King's remake of Kubrick Shining, not so good. Yeah, so in the chat or the comments later on in the replay, let me know what's your favorite remake. Um, you guys ever see the Cabin Fever remake? Oh, arguably the worst movie ever made. So terrible. So terrible. I couldn't believe they remade Cabin Fever because what's the point, right? But then, like, just watching it. Oh, sorry, I thought of a good one. The Blob. That's a good remake. Never mind. I was struggling in the back of my mind, like, what is a good remake? There's got to be more than the couple I threw out there. Anyways, I'm trying to watch The Fly. So there's David Cronenberg's directing credit. Cronenberg's, I don't know, he's often considered the master of body horror, I would guess, outside of, at least in America. Oh, there we open up on a ballroom scene, and there's Goldblum. Oh, wait a minute, gotta get my captions on. That's the problem here. I gotta see what these people are saying. And we start off, yeah, with them in press select on your own. There we go. With him and Geena Davis talking. And they do three movies together. I believe the first movie they did was Transylvania 65000, and then um, they did this, and then Earth Girls Are Easy. And then I think shortly after Earth Girls Are Easy or around that, they got married and then they got divorced like 3 or 4 years later. I always felt like the movie Vibes with Jeff Goldblum that Cyndi Lauper was just playing the Gina Davis role. Anyways, where's my captions? I'm still getting black captions here. What are we doing here? Damn you, technology! You are a troublemaker. Um. Okay. On. Why are you? Why would I want black captions? All right. There we go. Boom. All right. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Got it back. Anyways, Russell says, "Help me! Help me!" Yeah, that's the classic line from the old Vincent Price one. Um, I don't know about the Vincent Price one. I've seen it probably 5 times in my life, but always big gaps in between. Like I remember watching it once as a little kid because the idea sounds intriguing, and that's classic late night. You know, if you're up at 2 in the morning, and you're watching stuff on TV, flipping through the channels. That one's like always on. It turns up a lot. So I'd seen it when I was a kid, and then I probably watched it once again as like a teenager, probably around the time this came out because they were showing it on cable again. And then when I really got into film and filmmaking and old school stuff and Vincent Price and all like, just cool things to be into, um, I watched it again and I liked it more. But obviously, this fly is so familiar in my mind that the old one feels lesser than. I don't know. It's very slow paced. I think a lot of modern audiences wouldn't dig it, especially after you watch this. This one will desensitize you to stuff. It's so crazy. So this movie gets going. I never realized how fast it starts. Like it's none of this messing around. They meet at a party. She's already back at his place, and they're getting ready to look at the teleportation machines. It's like let's move. You know. Um, Juno says the Fly 2 is very solid and has great effects, but Fly 1 is still a masterpiece. Yeah, The Fly 2, it's interesting. This movie, it's most known for its special effects, right? That's probably the best thing about it. The acting is good. Goldblum is pretty wild. He delivers a great performance. But and Gina Davis as a damsel in distress is pretty good too. She doesn't play stupid, but she also feels like vulnerable. She's a good final girl in a movie that doesn't really have that. Um, but anyways, I was sidetracked. Um, uh, the makeup and the effects is what this movie is mainly known for, right? So it won an Oscar for best special effects, and the guy who did the makeup for this is the one who directed the sequel. So um, it's kind of funny to me. It's like, well, he got his whole career off of doing the effects for this. This part here, supposedly, Goldblum suggested he do the when he takes her back to his place, he's trying to impress her by playing the piano. And supposedly Goldblum, like, came to Cronenberg and said, "How about if I do this? I'm learning to play the piano and I can show, that I'm more than just a science nerd. I have some sort of artistic ability or whatever." An attempt to make the weirdo seem more endearing, basically. These telepods, this is the first time we get a good look at them. They're based off of a motorcycle engine, right? Like I guess Cronenberg had a motorcycle, and when he was trying to think about how to design this thing, he was just staring at the bottom down there, a Ducati or whatever. Let's see here. Russell says hello. Folks are coming in. Apologize about the first stream for Silver Bullets and I Django. And ended for some reason. Okay, well these things do happen. I understand. Uh, Patrick says True Grit is his favorite remake. That's a pretty damn good one. I saw the original with John Wayne like back when I was a kid, and it was all right. I was never a John Wayne guy. He was huge, but he was never my guy. But then when I watched the Coen Brothers remake, I went back and watched the John Wayne one, and it made me appreciate them both a lot. Like but I think the Coen Brothers one is my favorite of the two. Juno says his favorite remake is The Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, that one actually is wild too. That one shocked me. There's very rarely that a horror movie will actually shock me because after years and years of them, you kind of get jaded and it's like, oh, I saw that before in a different movie or whatever. So that one, the part where he's whatever. Let's not spoil that and let's not get me all disturbed and sitting here crying during the stream. Let's see here. The worst remake ever is The Fog 2005. Yeah, brutal, brutal. I've been to a couple horror cons with where John Carpenter is speaking, and I've seen John Carpenter. Obviously, I watch his interviews on YouTube and stuff, and he always just his answer to that movie is, "Well, I got to check." there's nothing I was going to do. They own the rights to it, and they were going to remake it. So no matter what. So he kind of washes his hands of the whole thing pretty well. But yeah, that's one I don't know. I might watch it again just for sporks and giggles. But yeah, I'm good. Man is here. Hello, my beautiful party people. Welcome, Mayan. Nice to see you. Okay, so right now, as I'm talking, I'm at the the 8 minute mark, and this is where he teleports her nylon from one thing to the other, and then they kind of explain, the lore of how inanimate objects are fine, but once meat gets involved, it doesn't work right. Anyways, Mayan, welcome. Everybody loves you, so do I. So I'm glad you are here. Queen Mayan is awesome. Let's see here. Patrick says the Psycho remake with Vince Vaughn was bad. Yeah, it was. Um, I was interested in that as a like a film experiment, but that's the thing. That the idea was Gus Van Sant was going to do a remake, a shot for shot deal. But when you watch it, it isn't shot for shot. Like it's definitely got different shots in it. So then what was the point? A color version with Vince Vaughn? Um, so I'd like to go back and watch it again, maybe, because I don't know. It's been a minute. But as I recall, yeah, not worth the trouble. Folks are saying hello. Folks are saying hello. Spirit and Scream. Chat's flying fast. I'm saying hi to everyone as well, right? Everybody's just poured in saying hello. Everybody's saying hi. I love it. Um, well, let's see here. Juno says the Fog remake was so bad. The main star of it, Tom Wellings, even said he found the remake really bad. And enjoys the Carpenter classic. Yeah, old Superman was pretty cool about it. I like when actors own their bad movies. And I like Tom Hardy, for example. He thought he made a bad movie when he made Fury Road, and then later on he was like, I didn't know it was going to be that good. Like Star Wars, you hear all the people say like, when we were making it, I was convinced I was in a bad movie. So yeah, anytime people own their bad movie, I'm always cool with it. Echo is here with his fly strip. Cha cha cha. Go zero. Welcome, my friend. Nice to see you. Echo's the man. Let's see here. Yeah, the effects did deserve the Oscars. Yeah, a lot of people thought that Goldblum was going to be nominated for an Oscar for this, but then there was some like that's when the discussion came up of like, is horror movie art? Can someone in a horror movie get nominated for an Oscar? Where can I put this fly strip? Never mind. Echo. Oh, let's see. The Fly remake has that slow burn psychological vibe throughout, and it builds. Oops, sorry about that. Has that builds throughout and builds up the terrifying situations about to happen. Man, I miss the masterpiece films like this. They don't make them no more. Yeah, I agree. They take their time really well, and like I said, it gets into it so fast. Like there's none of this messing around with them trying to build up like a love story. It almost feels like a one night stand sort of deal, and these two end up boyfriend girlfriend by happenstance. And then, as I recall, it sort of ends sort of fast. There's not a big like long epilogue. They shot some stuff, but they never used it. Um, Damn, I was about to pick on Mayanne, but I forgot to give this week off, so I can't pick on her. Good, nobody pick on Mayanne. She is awesome. Juno is a piece of shit. Is this a piece of shit or not? Yeah, Juno will give a hard slam on some stuff. Um, but no, I know for a fact Juno loves this, as most great film lovers do. Hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog. Thank you for that because, man, I got a 1 year old. Well, she'll be a 1 year old in 10 days or whatever, 8 days. Um, and she watches Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. So I hear hot dog, hot diggity dog, like as a song, like, oh God, I don't know, all day long. It's in the back of my mind while I'm living my life. I have another trick coming soon for you, Echo. Uh-oh, it sounds like this is getting wild. Dog bollocks. There we go. That sounds so wrong, man. Correct, correct. Yes, dog bollocks. Um, I heard it was a pretty fly. It was pretty fly for a white guy. No, 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 no. Ben Grimm, welcome, my friend. Ben Grimm, as I mentioned before, when he's on, pops in other streams I've done. Very intelligent, knowledgeable movie man. Well written, very intelligent, well spoken. Good man, Ben Grimm. Welcome. Um, I miss hearing Juno say this movie is a piece of shit. Yeah, I do love when a good Juno rant. Like in general, I don't like rant culture where people just complain about things. People are like, "Look at this crazy guy," but when Juno gets mad about a movie he really hates, it's entertainment. I kind of love it. Um, To Fly, Back to the Marty McFly future. I would be interested in watching that movie. Here's okay, so she's at work or whatever, and we meet the sort of douchebag boyfriend editor guy. He's perfect in this because it's weird. Like he's definitely the like friend zoned guy, even though they used to be in a relationship. And then um, he's got this rivalry thing with Goldblum, but he's also like half slimy, even though he seems very corporate. And I don't know, he's well cast. That guy does a good job. I like him. Jen says this movie genuinely scares me. Yeah, some of the effects will gross you out for life, like the whole stuff with how he goes about eating his food and the stuff where his body's transforming. To this day, like every now and then I'll get, you'll find like a weird hair. I was like, where'd this one weird hair come from? That hair wasn't there yesterday. And I'll be like, Brundlefly, Brundlefly, it's coming. I've heard that A24 got the right to Chainsaw Films and they want another rebooted sequel to the original, which is like the fourth, fifth time they're doing it, like the X-Men situation. Yeah. Same with Halloween. Isn't Halloween like that? Like there's like three or four timelines you can follow. One where Jamie Lee Curtis dies, one where she doesn't die, one where she's a sister, all that crap. Like it's all over the place. Um, yeah, when they get to that choose your own adventure level, I have trouble follow along. Jeff Goldblum has a certain charm about him. Well, yeah, he's uh super intelligent, obviously. He's athletic, like well built or whatever. So I could see, how he would be something that would be attractive to the ladies. Seems a little crazy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you had to deal with Goldblum in your life as like a significant other, it would just he's nuts. He'd jump up on the kitchen table. He'd be like pontificating about the deliciousness of Doritos. Ah, yes, the cheese, it's so good. Wait a minute, that was William Shatner. That was William Shatner. It was a scratch that, scratch that. Um, Here they're in the diner scene. This is where they go out after the whole discussion and the whatever. So they're at this diner. In this scene, apparently Goldblum did a bunch of improvising, so that's why she's constantly like shocked at the way he talks and stuff. Uh, Cronenberg's real big on that. I guess when they did the Dead Zone to get Christopher Walken to jump the way he does when he has those psychic flashbacks, Cronenberg would be offset firing a gun. Like so, as a director, he's all about trying crazy, wild stuff to get good performances out of his actors. I guess a lot of the stuff in this is improvised. There's all sorts of funny little scenes in here that the part that when she flushes the toilet, I think, is improvised by her. I fancy your lighting. Thank you. I fancy you, Stacy. Welcome. Glad you are here. Yeah, I decided to go with the green. Like I'm coming out of the transporter, right? The telepod. If I lived with a disease, and this movie would freak me out too. Yeah, that's thank you for bringing that up, Sean. Yeah, that's the discussion about this. Like as people who watch this show or listen to it on any of their favorite podcast providers, um, as any all know, I like to like analyze movies because I feel like subtext is an important part of movies. They spend so much money, and there's all these different departments. If you had one person just in charge of this room, and another person just in charge of that light, and another person just in charge of audio, you would get the best of everything, right? So when everybody gets a chance to like throw their little bit of art in or try to do this or that, you end up with like really amazing, well done things that have more than just what's on the surface there. So here's the part I was talking about. She flushes the toilet on him while he's in the shower. Like apparently Gina Davis improvised that. But like if you go through and look for trivia, it's all about like all the times they were doing improvisation. Um, the hell was I rambling about? Anyways, the different subtext in the movie. Thank you. I thought I had to get myself back on track. The different subtext in the movie. A lot of people think that this is about, and Cronenberg himself says this is about like sickness. Like if you're dying of some sort of illness, terminal thing or whatever, and you're falling apart, and you don't want your family to see you, or you feel like you are gross, or that you're becoming something different, and that's like what this movie's about. It's like, a lot of people consider it cancer and, whatever, any sort of terminal disease or anything that's tearing you up or eating you up, right? Um, uh, this came out around the same time the AIDS epidemic was a big thing. So a lot of people say that this is like, an allegory for the AIDS pandemic, or epidemic. Um, so, um, I would consider it that. I also consider it sort of a basic Frankenstein movie, Dr. Frankenstein movie. You know, it's once again, human beings shouldn't be playing with Mother Nature and science and things they don't understand, or it'll backfire on you. And that's what this happens. This man tries to defy the laws of science, and because of it, it backfires, and he turns into a gross monster, which I think is basically the premise of the original Fly, right? That's I think that's the subtext there. But yeah, as Sean said, if you were living with some sort of disease, I think this movie is sort of intended to speak with you and maybe some of the feelings. The Fly Ate Washington. Ooh, The Fly Who Ate Washington. I'd watch that. Um, who should play the new Fly guy? That's a good question, Stacy. You always have good questions. Um, who would be good in The Fly now? I don't know. Jake Gyllenhaal. He's probably pretty good. Let's see who's interesting to me now. Let's go Finn Wolfhard. There you go. No one's expecting that one. Um, the guy slowly becoming a big scares me. Yeah, a big giant fly. That's the thing. Any sort of like transformation of the human body is gross in general, right? With the pooping and the vomiting and the eye stuff and the ear stuff and just genitalia in general and the stuff that it does. It's all a gross procedure. So that's where body horror comes from, right? It's if you're a normal person, there's a several times you've looked at yourself and been like, "Ew, what's up with my toenails?" or whatever, right? So that's the definition of body horror. And this movie pushes steps on the pedal and puts a brick on it. So there's where they tried to transport the baboon, and he does that like famous jump scare where he slams his bloody paw up against the inside of the pod door. Even now, I kind of jumped watching it like, Zeesh. Um, Apparently, this baboon was a damn problem. Like not only he not only kept running around the set and wouldn't behave, so they had to have the baboon wrangler usually sit in the telepod and try to be there and give him bananas or whatever the hell you do to keep a baboon cool. But the funny story is apparently the baboon fell in love with the script supervisor and constantly had like an erection. So they had to shoot around the erection or they had to like digitally paint it out because this baboon's all horny for the set, the script supervisor lady. There's a fun piece of trivia you don't get from a lot of other channels. Night Owl Movie Talk. Feel free to subscribe. I'm less than 25 away from 1,000. Wow. All right, back to this. Juno says one of the movies I found is Jordan Peele produced movie Him, but that was an awful BOS. 20 years later was mixed bag, and three Popeye films are god awful garbage. I really want to see Him. Um, I enjoyed Get Out. I thought a lot of it wasn't as good as people said it was. Like I heard it was the most amazing thing ever, and I found it kind of a Stepford Wives, Twilight Zone Theo thing. And then he did those CBS. Twilight Zone shows, and I watched those, and they were pretty interesting. And I was like, okay, so I like Peele's work. And then Us came out, and I thought Us was like kind of amazing. I enjoyed Us more than Get Out. It was creepy. That'll give you nightmares. Like the who shows up? Us. Like, oh no, that's extra scary. Um, but then when Nope came out, Nope's all over the place, bro. It's scary. Speaking of crazy baboon movies, tied it all around. Well, it's a chimpanzee, but you get me. You get me. So yeah, I wanted to see Him. I heard it was terrible. It's only produced by Jordan Peele, even though the marketing makes it seem like he wrote and directed it. It's like, no, it's only a production. It's like when M. Night Shyamalan produced Devil or The Devil, whatever, the elevator movie. Most people think that's a him movie. It's like, no, that's just one he produced. And those Popeye movies, I'm curious about those. Same with the Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat one or whatever. Like these things that have fallen into public domain and immediately go to horror movies crack me up. Did you see this in the cinemas? No, I did not. Thank you for getting me back on track of my show of how it's supposed to go, Stacy. You're awesome. Um, no, I didn't see this in the theater. I would have probably been like 10, 12 years old, somewhere in there. Um, but I remember back in the days of videos, like going to the video store and renting videos, you would get there and you would usually come home with three or four for the weekend. You'd have those 3, 4 boxes sitting on your top of your VCR, and you got to take them back, within however the days, getting that Dropbox. And this was a big sought after one. This is one where people would constantly go up to the desk and be like, "Will you check the Dropbox for The Fly?" So I ended up scoring The Fly first weekend. So to me, this is always going to be like a huge VHS score. Like I remember going to the video store and coming home with The Fly. Everybody else was jealous. The friends were trying to come over and watch it. Um, so I first saw this at home, and then I fell in love with it on cable. It was forever, late night HBO, Showtime, Movie Channel, whatever. And then, of course, later on, with the Joe Bob Briggs of the world and movies for guys who like movies and all that, The Fly just is always on. It's a perpetual staple in like the AMC Fear Fest stuff, and like, so I've seen it so many millions of times. I also have a nice Fly set on DVD. I don't think I ever upgraded to Blu-ray on this one, but a pretty one that looks almost like. Let's not have a discussion here too. I'm a person who likes film movie posters. Feel free to check out my Night Owl Movie Talk shorts. I was gonna say, feel free to check out my shorts. Um, I've been doing a series of movie posters because I love movie posters. It's part of the whole experience. I love everything about movies. The movie poster for this is just straight up alien, right? They're not fooling anybody. Like if you looked at one and looked at the other real fast, it's that egg. They ain't getting nothing by me, Cronenberg. Um, oh, here's Brundlefly. There it is, the part I was talking about earlier. To this day, whenever I find one oddball hair in place I don't have hair, it's like, what is this? What am I turning into? Will I be an ant by Thursday? There's Juno. The fuck? Popeye horror? Yeah, there's Popeye horror. It's hard to believe. It's make a new fog, but have the last memory of the fog rather than '05. That might work. I wish they'd done Popeye animated film. Instead, we got a three-piece of shit horror Hollywood, three-piece of spork Popeye horror films. The Mist was good enough, so we don't need a new Fog movie. Yeah, if you're gonna do the Fog, I would. The Mist is the perfect Fog movie. Like, if you want a good movie to watch with the Fog, just do that. Pick three movie characters to go swimming with. Uh, Brody, Quint, and what's his name? Robert Shaw. Um, uh, what three? Who would I go swimming with? I'm a married man, so this could get me in trouble. I ain't trying to do that. LOL, no one. Two, three. By the way, the mist looks better. Yes, Russell. She'd say Elijah Wood. He has the eyes for swimming. Oh, or who would I cast? This is the new Fly. Gotcha. I was a little behind on what we were talking about there. Yeah, I would say Elijah Wood would be good in the Fly. I could go for that. Juno says Ethan Hawke. I would go for that. Body horror for Jen all day. Let's see. Definitely has the big eyes, Jen. Right. John Carpenter calls you. He says that guy that wrote In the Mouth of Madness now runs Warner Brothers and wants to make a new one. Do you advise John Carpenter direct a new In the Mouth of Madness? I would go for a sequel or some sort of whatever, like same in the same universe. Like maybe somebody else is trying to solve that Sutter Kane mystery, and they end up in that town, uh, because the whole movie is like a tribute to Stephen King and a tribute to H.P. Lovecraft. So there's so much to mine from both of those. They're both very prolific. So between the two, you can just tell another story in that universe. Whatchamacallit? What's it called? Lovecraft Land or something? HBO had a show that was, Lovecraftian, that kind of thing. But if John Carpenter called me, I would just be like, hey, dude, do you want to hang out and smoke and play video games? Mike DeLuca now runs Warner Brothers. He wrote In the Mouth of Madness. He did he? I didn't know that. Look at you with the good trivia. Elijah Woods did a great job in Maniac remake and Funny in Cooties. I don't know if I saw the Maniac remake. That's one that's been in my queue forever, and I may have watched it in one of my late night hazes where I was like three movies deep and it was 4 in the morning and I was starting another one before I fell asleep. A lot of movies fall into that for me. Night of the Reaper was another big surprise. I recommended that one. Don, pretty good. Okay. Night of the Reaper. I have the old V miniseries. Might need to get the second one. I love the V miniseries. That's a trip to me. I'm surprised they've never made a big screen adaptation to V, or they've tried to turn that into a big property. Because a lot of us are messed up by it, and there's a whole subculture of the world that thinks that there's lizard people out there. I know if you're one of those, hey, I don't mean to step on your toes, whatever. And if you're not one of the people who thinks that there's lizard people, then you're normal. So I think that movie messed a lot of folks up. Like I think the lizard woman eating the rat and all that from V, I think that got a lot of people's heads. So V is a property I would like to see in a big screen summer blockbuster Independence Day type movie, right? Sell action figures and T-shirts. I think he's saying night. Oh, Night of the Reaper was a turd clunker. Oh, we got a disagreement. Trespass and Blood In, Blood Out, stream terrific. Um, I'm always checking out your shorts. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. um, yeah, Mayan, speaking of shorts, your shorts aren't so bad yourself. Mayan's always got the coolest stuff. She's always doing fun and cool things, or she has like something cool to show. Like nobody has better show and tell than Mayan. Like sometimes I'll just turn and show my wife like cool purses she has. I'm like, look at this Chucky purse. She'd be like, that's awesome. I'm like, all right, I told you. Jokes aside, Don, those are great. Oh, thank you. You are very sweet, Mayan, as usual. What an amazing woman. I love you, Mayan. I fancy Gareth short videos of him giving VH tips to people in the West Wales. Yeah, Gareth, I owe basically this channel, me doing the live streams, to video tasties, Gareth, as well as my friend popping the popcorn, Katie. Most of you know Katie too. Um, and then you know, starting to watch channels, I got really into Rob's Vintage Video and Sean, Cinephile World Order there. So, through those people is how I met all those folks. So, Sir Gareth is always on one of my favorite human being lists. I love me some Gareth. One of my first live stream I did was with the man. I need to get together with my friend Gareth and do some stuff soon. At Video Tasties, be sure to check him out. He's the hardest working man in show business. The Long Walk was the most disturbing film that came out, and my favorite movie of the year. I need to check out The Long Walk. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, The Long Walk. I hear it's very good. Okay, so here we back to the movie I'm supposed to be watching, and not talking about. Jesus, where's my water? Um, they're toasting because they finally had the first successful teleportation of the baboon. So they're all geeked up, and eventually he does the thing where he transports himself and comes back all excited and new, and then scares poor Gina Davis off, and then this movie really gets going. All right. Speaking of Gina Davis, I wrote down Gina Davis's biggest movies. Let Grandpa grab his glasses here. You tell me, top five Gina Davis. All right. I got Tootsie, Fletch, Transylvania 65000, The Fly, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, right? Earth Girls Are Easy, Thelma and Louise, Quick Change, League of Their Own. League of Their Own, huh? League of Their Own? Uh, Long Kiss Goodnight, Cutthroat Island, Hero, and Speechless. Hero and Speechless I just threw in because a lot of people know those movies, but that's not top five Gina Davis. My top five Gina Davis, I'm going to go. Oh, I forgot Fletch. She was also in Fletch. She's great in Fletch. I'm going to go Beetlejuice 1. I'm going to go League of Their Own 2. No, 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 no. I'm gonna go Beetlejuice 1, Long Kiss Goodnight 2. Long Kiss Goodnight, it could arguably be 1, right? I'm gonna go yeah, Beetlejuice 1, Long Kiss Goodnight 2, League of Their Own 3. Um I'm gonna go Fletch and Earth Girls Are Easy. Controversial at the end there. Holler at me. Put yours in there. What's your favorite Gina Davis? Either in the comments or the chat. I'm dying to know. Like I say, she's good in Tootsie. Tootsie in Fletch, she basically plays the same character. She's very, very cute and charming. But then in Long Kiss Goodnight, she's badass, right? She's like one of the best female action heroines of all time. The science guy in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead too. Well, the science guy is in Don't Tell Them. I didn't know that. Folks are saying hello. Oh my goodness, my friend Carrie Craves Cinema. Speaking of somebody who helped me get started, well, there she is. Hey, popping in to say hi, and I'm watching Halloween 5, close to the end. Just wanted to say, hey, welcome, Carrie. Yes, Carrie has been one of my earliest friends here. I love me some Carrie. Carrie Craves Cinema. Be sure to check out her channel, her reviews. You want to talk about somebody with some great shorts? There's Carrie's shorts will keep you up on stuff. Um, that sounded wrong too. Anyways, welcome, Carrie. If you ever want to watch me and Carrie together, you can see us in my back catalog. We watched Creep 1 and 2 together a couple Halloweens ago. Let's see here. Acres of Movie wants to know best Charles Grodin performance. Ooh, for sure, Midnight Run, right? For sure, Midnight Run. Um, Oh goodness, what's the one with Albert Brooks? He's well, he's got a couple with Albert Brooks. The one where he's in the Winnebago and going across country. No, that's not him. I don't know. I would have to look at the Charles Grodin one. I'm thinking of the one where he's in the house and it's like a documentary about them living in the house. Whatever. Well, I'll have to do Grodin some other time. Uh, what's that one with Martin Sheen? Not Martin Sheen. Martin Short. The one where he's a little boy. Charles Grodin's like his dad. Whatever. Oh, have you seen the Alien show, Don? I've seen it, but I've been hearing very mixed things about it. I enjoyed it. Um, uh, it's I don't know if you've seen Fargo or Castle Rock. There's like these shows where they kind of take the essence of a thing and they make a show out of it, you know. So like Fargo feels like Coen Brothers stuff, but it's totally different. And they take stuff that you know and they sort of repurpose it in a new way, right? So, Alien, I feel like, is a mix of both Alien and what we know about it, and a little bit Blade Runner. Like they really focus on the difference between cyborgs and synthetics, and transporting people's intelligence into their brains and stuff. So it's kind of a cool, fun thing. I liked it. The only thing that's been fun about it for me was that it was week to week. Um, like I don't watch anything week to week nowadays. It's all streaming. I binge watch everything in big bulk. So to watch a show week to week was sort of fun. When it ended, I was surprised. I was like, it was just 8 episodes. What the hell? Um, but as far as like the storylines and stuff, I mean, you know, there's it's a story to tell about aliens. Most of the movies try some new story of what happened if an alien went to a prison colony, or what happened if you know, whatever, an alien fought a predator. Um, so to have the stuff that goes on there where they capture an alien and somebody learns to try to talk to it, and it can be divisive, but to me it's like, sure, whatever, why not? So now here Goldblum's getting ready to try the teleporter for the first time himself. So this movie's clipping right along. We're at the 34-minute mark. There's an hour left. So yeah, we're a little bit past the first act. I'd say the first act ends when he completes his first successful one. So there the doors closing and you can see the black fly on the inside of the pod. What are some of your other favorite sci-fi horror? I find that's an interesting genre, right? Like sci-fi and horror both sort of go hand in hand, like Event Horizon, Alien. There's lots of other. What's it? Pandora? Is it Pandorum? Pandorum? Whatever it's called. Um, one of the Cloverfield movies was like an outer space horror type deal. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is kind of sci-fi, whatever. So what's your favorite sci-fi horror? Um, The Faculty, does that count as sci-fi horror? That's aliens. So this is sort of an iconic scene here where the door opens and the steam pours out and Goldblum hops out all, looking like Statue of David and shit. And the slow pushing. Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I don't know, Cronenberg's a master. Um, Apparently for this, which I couldn't believe, and when you look on the internet and it says, "Did you know so and so was also considered for this role?" A lot of times that's some of the most shoddy journalism. Like if there's anything in research to do for these shows, I often ignore. Did you know that they wanted Burt Reynolds to play this role or whatever? Because it's all garbage. If they didn't take the role, what's it matter? But supposedly, according to the internetings, Richard Dreyfuss was up for this role, the Jeff Goldblum role. Naturally, right? Um, let's see here. Who are some of the others? Mm, drawing blank. William Hurt was up for it. Apparently, that was who a lot of people wanted, and then he just wasn't going to have it. Um, uh, Sorry, now I'm distracted by Goldblum's hyped up ass fly successes, his like energy. Um, Anyways, so the thought of anybody but Goldblum playing this. confuses me. Like I can't quite even imagine it. So who else would you have play this now? We discussed that before. Like who else would be good as the Fly? Modern day, I would say Jake Gyllenhaal. We discussed Elijah Wood. Um, I don't know. Goldblum, this is one of the few roles he's really cut out for. This, Independence Day. Well, shit. Hold on. I also wrote down the best Goldblums. We'll do top five Goldblum. Um, Jurassic Park, Independence Day, The Fly, Earth Girls Are Easy, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Deep Cover, which I'm a fan of Deep Cover, Vibes, Death Wish. Death Wish is where I first saw him. Like I remember, like this dude's just chewing up the scenery in this role, and it's a pretty crappy, low budget movie. Death Wish is, so to be chewing up the scenery is amazing. Um, Ray Bradbury Theater. He did one episode of Ray Bradbury Theater that's like one of the best ones. Like if you're a fan of that show, you often remember the Goldblum one. He's like in you know, a train station thing, and it's in an abandoned town. It's a creepy one. Transylvania 65000, like we talked about, he's in that with Gina Davis, and he was in Hideaway. Um, that one, it was what's her name, Alicia Silverstone. Um, Kind of a weird serial killer type movie, I guess you would call it. So I don't know. Favorite Goldblum? I'm gonna go top five. This number one, right? This is number one. Two, I'm gonna go Jurassic Park. Right, Jurassic Park slightly ahead of Independence Day. He's an important cog in Independence Day, but he sort of steals the movie in Jurassic Park. Um, hmm, Fly, Jurassic Park, Independence Day. I'm gonna go Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then Death Wish because that's where I first found him. So controversial choice at the end. Once again, I like to make sure the biggies up front satisfy, and then go wild towards the back. But yeah, what's your favorite Goldblum? Let me know. Is it this? A lot of the ladies like this, as we discussed earlier. Goldblum getting his Goldblum on. Carrie says Cooties was a great movie, so much fun. Lovely Winell in it. Hey, Papa Goss is here. Welcome, sir. Nice to see you. Glad to have you here. Let me guess, you love The Fly, right? You anything good you like. Your taste is impeccable. Welcome, my friend. Who would you cast in V? Brad Pitt? That's actually pretty good casting because that's big, right? You would want to go him, Tom Cruise. You'd want to go one of the big names, um, but the original one was what Mark Singer or whatever, the guy who's like a knockoff Mark Hamill. He was the Beastmaster. Um, is that his name, Mark Singer? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Um, hmm, who would I cast in it now? Yeah, that's pretty good. But I mean, you could do anybody, right? Like I could see uh, 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 what's his name? Gerard Butler, right? What about drawn blank? Idris Elba, right? This show is now just me making mouth musical noises while I try to think of actors' names. Here, Gina Davis gets up in the middle of the night. Jeff Goldblum's all wired. She puts on his shirt, uh, setting off a future of all sorts of women wearing men's shirts and looking cute in them. But he's like starting to be freaky now. He's like, let's do it together. Like we'll both go through. It's like it's wonderful. It's like, oh, you on the teleportation drug? Where can I get some of that teleportation? mm May that went over his head. Everything goes over my head, May. Or Carrie. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Love the correct one. Sean, always a pleasure, my friend. No, Carrie, it's because I comment on all these shorts for real. Yeah, I know she does. She's all up in my shorts. No, May is not in my. No, that's what's wrong with you people. It's just a jokey joke. Black Phone 2 looks like it's having a Freddy Krueger vibes. I wouldn't be surprised. When they try to figure out what direction to take something that they weren't necessarily maybe trying to do a sequel to, because the Black Phone kind of felt like a one-off. They left it room for a sequel, but it felt like a one-off to me. Um, but when they do that stuff, a lot of times when they go back for the second one or the third one, they often steal tropes from other movies or basic concepts from other movies. So here's the part where Goldblum just out of nowhere starts doing like a gymnastics routine on the pull-up bars in his house. It's like, oh, whatever you're on, I need two of it. Let's see. By the way, I hope you're doing good, Amiga. Yeah, we all love Carrie here. She's wonderful. Lee Winnell and Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon is so underrated. That is a good movie. I agree. Juno says Beetlejuice is the best Gina Davis. Yeah, I would go Beetlejuice too. League of Her Own is famous. Like a lot of people love that. You know that I used to live in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is one of the towns that had a team in the women's baseball league back then. And I used to videotape the games for the minor league team that played there on the same field. Well, a field that the traveling women team had played on adjacent, whatever. Stupid historical sites is a dumb discussion. But anyways, yes, I'm very familiar with the League of Their Own baseball league, and Gina Davis is like, a lot of little girls look up to her for that movie. Um, but Long Kiss Goodnight's pretty badass. It's pretty badass. Um, Papa Gas says she's a legend. Carrie loves Death Sentence. Accidental Tourist, Thelma and Louise, Speechless, Cutthroat Island, top five. Accidental Tourist, yeah. That's a more thoughtful, thinky movie. I'm a bit of a meathead, so yeah. In general, of course, I'm gonna like something more like Long Kiss Goodnight. Um, let's see here. Long Kiss Goodnight, honorable mention. Yeah, oh, really? I love me some Long Kiss Goodnight. It's good stuff. Um, enjoyed Death Sentence movie. Russell and actually was I have the film and the ending by the great Kevin Bacon gave one of the most breathtaking performances. Yeah, it's pretty good Bacon. I watched the Bruce Willis Death Wish pretty recently. I never saw it when it first came out. I wasn't interested. Well, the idea of Eli Roth and Bruce Willis together interests me, but I ended up, you know, it was mediocre at best. A few times I was kind of rolling my eyes, and I don't know. Vincent D'Onofrio seemed to have very little to do in that movie. And a couple times I told Mrs. Night Owl, like, no, this the Kevin Bacon movie's a better one than this one. I loved Earth Girls Are Easy. That's another one. Comedy Central used to show that one all the time. Like, I remember it being on cable and whatever, but for some reason, Comedy Central would show that like every afternoon. I think the Gina Davis in her swimsuit had a lot of people watching that. But that's a crazy, fun, weird movie. Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, they're all good in it. Jeff Goldblum's kind of the straight man of it. Um, but I enjoy it. It's an oddball one. Let's see here. The science guy, and then I meant that John gets chat. Um, I'm so confused. I agree, Juno, about the end. Clifford, thank you, Papa Goss. So that's how far back I am. Geesh. Then he should have more impact, but it felt a little anticlimactic. Clifford is so funny. See, he feels me. Thank you for the shout out, my friend. I appreciate you. Your shorts are definitely more polished than mine. No, oh no, I've got dirty shorts. Sloppy shorts? Never mind. Clifford, I still sing the dinosaur song. Yeah, you get it. See that's an underrated Grodin. I don't think people talk about that one, but carrier shorts are pretty cute. This has gotten out of hand. May, thank you for noticing my shorts. Make Hot Shots 3 sci-fi do some fly parody scenes in that. I think they could. I mean, Scared Stupid. Oh, Ernest. God damn it. About Rumpelstiltskin 95 a couple weeks ago on Blu-ray, a piece of shit Walmart. Lucky it was a copy left. I find that movie underrated. I don't know if I remember. I actually think I own Rumpelstiltskin 95. I think I have it on DVD, but I haven't watched it in a long time. Um, yeah, here's where he's there. He's all wired up from doing this, teleportation thing, and it's basically like drugs to him. So he's trying to convince her, let's do the teleportation thing. You'll love it. She's like, yeah, I don't know about all that. And here's the first appearance of the Brundlefly hairs all thick on his back. That's some pretty good effects. Like they cut to both of them all like, in the heat of passion, sweaty and whatnot, and then they cut to his shoulder and it looks like it's in his shoulder. It's a good shot. Um Anyways, that 95 Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know if I can speak on it. I barely remember it. The cover's cool. Secretary of Fox came up with this tagline: "The be afraid, be very afraid." Anne Hathaway for The Fly. That's a pretty good one. I'd be interested in that. Alien 3 was dark and disturbing. Yeah, I enjoyed Alien 3. That was kind of my last favorite Aliens movie. Um, Alien and Aliens are so great that by the time you get to 3, they're starting to run out of ideas, but it's so dark and creepy and well made. It's very like emotional. It's got this like Christ-like ending with her falling in, to the descending to hell or whatever. Um, but then yeah, in four they just resurrect her and bring her back. It's like classic cheap movie trick. It's like no, no, she's fine, she's fine. We took her DNA and brought her back. Anne Hathaway would be great for it. Yeah, she would actually play it well. I like Sphere. I enjoy. They're remaking The Faculty. I'll be interested to see it. I'm assuming Robert Rodriguez has something to do with it as far as like producing and whatnot. Or maybe he's on the Carpenter path where he's just like, no, I'm getting a check for it. That's all. Fourth Kind was a pretty damn good movie. Need to rewatch that again. Yeah, I think it's been a minute since I've seen that one. Is that the what like Mia Jovovich or some shit? I don't remember. The Faculty is legit sci-fi horror. Yeah, see that one's weird. The Faculty almost feels like a better version of what's the Toby Hooper Invaders from Mars? Is that one? The Faculty feels like almost like a better version of that. Fourth Kind is highly underrated. I actually like Dark Skies. I've never seen Dark Skies. Do you like Life Force? Do you know Life Force is one of the most famous movies I've never seen? Like it's been on my watch list forever. I've been meaning to check it out. I just mentioned Toby Hooper. Um, yeah, I'd be interested in watching Life Force and then having a watch long of it. People, it's been around always. It's you can't watch everything, so the ones that escape me jump out at me, and Life Force is one of those. It's like I need to see that. The newer No One Will Save You, and that one's good as hell. Galaxy of Terror with Robert England, Sid Hagen, Joni from Happy Days. Yeah, that's actually our friend Mr. Bones, and was May there? May might have been there. When Roger Corman passed away on Mr. Bones' channel, we watched Galaxy of Terror and did a watch along for it. You can go on my Night Owl Movie Talk homepage there up at the top. There's a playlist called Everything Ever in Order, and you can find it in there. Um, but yeah, Galaxy of Terror is classic. Life Force is my shit. Yeah, I Matilda May. Yeah, exactly. Like I say, that's one of the main things people know. It's like, did you ever see that like space vampire movie with the lady with the great chest? Um, Hachi Machi, Tobe Magnum Opus. Yeah, we watched the Fly or Poltergeist here on the channel one time before, and there's question whether or not he actually did that, or if Steven Spielberg basically did that. Here's the part where Gina Davis is pretty much left him, or at least so mad she stormed off in a huff. So he's at the local bar, and here's where he meets like the trashy girl, and um, the dudes are arm wrestling, and he rips the guy's arm off. That's classic. Pacino is 85, is 80s fly. I would go for that. Life Force is great. Everybody's telling me to watch Life Force. All right, before Halloween, I will watch Life Force. That'll be one of my new movies I check out for Halloween this year. Halloween time, I like to watch a lot of the old ones. Like my favorite horror comfort. This one every year I watch around Halloween time. I don't know why. It's just classic horror to mix in. Life Force is Steve Railsback best movie. That's a bold statement. Simon with Cockadale Fly. Fire in the Sky has one of the best abduction scenes ever. Yeah, I was fascinated by Fire in the Sky. I remember that was one that didn't do all that great at the box office or critically, but on cable, I watched it a bunch. That Travis, whatever his name is, it's based on a true story, supposedly. And it's the whole thing with him being like almost trapped in some sort of like, I don't know, uterus or something or whatever. He looks like he's just trapped under weird flesh and stuff. I don't know, a weird sack. It's gross. So speaking of body horror, there you go. Yeah, that was creepy guys for sure. The stuntman with Peter O'Toole and Steve Railsback, Barbara Hershey. Oh, he's gonna bust this dude's arm. He's gonna bust this dude's arm. Oh, they're doing the good cutaway. Show me the arm, cut away. Show me the arm, cut away. Show me the fake arm, so that when he busts it, I've already been conditioned to know that it's real. That's classic direction of special effects right there. The tall guy with Jeff Goldblum is underrated. Yeah, Goldblum between the tall guy and Framed, Goldblum has like kind of some weird low level underground ones that are good. Like just he's a weird leading man. He to me he almost works better as a secondary character, like in Independence Day or in uh, Jurassic Park. But I find he obviously can carry a movie. He has, leading man good looks, but he's an oddball leading man. He's an interesting choice. He's like a Christopher Walken or something. Speaking of that, Christopher Walken was one of the people who was up for this, but he didn't want to do it because he'd already done the Dead Zone. Well, as long as we're just talking about Cronenberg movies, let's talk about some Cronenberg movies. Top five Cronenberg. Let's do it, guys. The biggies for Cronenberg, he has 48 movies he's directed. Shivers and Rabid, that's his early stuff. I dig that. The Brood, Scanners. I've watched Scanners on the channel before with Popping the Popcorn. Scanners is good stuff. I like it. Michael Ironside, amazing, right? The aforementioned Videodrome. Videodrome's pretty badass, like creepy, weird. James Woods, another weird leading man. Like he works better as a secondary character, but to be the lead in that, it's I don't know. I mean, he's acting opposite Blondie, so clearly they were going with interesting choices. Um, Dead Zone. I love the Dead Zone. That's also on the channel right now. You can watch that in the back catalog. Christopher Walken. Hmm. That might be my favorite Cronenberg. There's a lot. The Fly, Dead Ringers, Naked Lunch, Crash. Crash, if you've never seen Crash, it's a movie about people who get off on car wrecks. So, you know, Existence, that's like basically, in my opinion, it's just Videodrome except video games. History of Violence is fantastic. If you haven't seen that, that's one that's a total departure from what he usually does. There's no real like gross sci-fi, yuckiness or whatever. It's just a straight like crime drama story. Really good. Eastern Promises, it feels almost like a sequel to History of Violence. It's the same tone. Eastern Promises feels like a side story on a Grand Theft Auto or something. I never saw the three new ones that I wrote down: Cosmopolis and Crimes of the Future. Crimes of the Future is a remake of one of his original films. He did that like back in the 70s, probably with a low budget. Now he has a big budget. And then I never saw the Shrouds. Never saw that either. Top five Cronenberg. Feel free to let me know your favorite Cronenberg in the chat or in the comments below. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Fly one, Dead Zone two. Dead Zone's awesome. It's hard to say not. Dead Zone two, History of Violence three, Eastern Promises four, Videodrome five. Ooh, Scanners. I'm leaving Scanners off. Okay, I'm gonna go to The Fly, Dead Zone, History of Violence, Scanners, Videodrome. There you go. Sorry, Eastern Promises. You're pretty awesome. I recommend anybody who's ever seen Eastern Promises, they remember the shower fight. So yeah, here's where Gina Davis comes back and she realizes he's got Tawny over there. And the two of them look like they've been on a bender or whatever, but really it's just her skin's all jacked up from drugs and herpes and whatever else she's got going on, and his skin's all jacked up from, turning into a fly, as one does. Let's see here. Let's get back to the chat. I am probably way behind. Brad Pitt with the cool V sunglasses would be great as that one guy as the leader. Oh yeah, I could see that. I think this movie, The Fly, is one of the films that really shows Goldblum's acting chops. Yeah, he can carry the lead. He's definitely like a lot of people are good looking and a lot of people are good actors, but you kind of have to be both to be the lead of a movie. Like there's something about holding people's attention. That one dude comes off the spaceship and is the leader. Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Um, yeah, he looks almost like the living embodiment of Mr. Magoo. Gina Davis is very hot in this film and does a great performance. I would agree for both. I want V now, remake V, right? See, that's the problem. V is a property to me that's prime for remaking because the whole point of all these damn remakes that we get that nobody likes is people know the property, right? Like, oh, I've heard of that before. Like, if they remake Jaws, everybody's going to be like, why would you remake Jaws? There's no need to. But they will because people know what Jaws is. You don't have to condition the audience. It's like, oh, that's a shark movie. So, when they do these remakes, a lot of times there needs to be brand awareness, but there also needs to be a need for it to be remade. And V is one where it's like, oh, the special effects and all of it. That for a TV movie, it's got badass special effects, but for a movie, it needs better effects. So yeah, if they remade V on a big scale summer blockbuster, make it a three-part over 3 summers, one of them deals, like go all in on V, push all your chips in. Gerard Butler in the film Law-Abiding Citizen with Jamie Foxx. Yeah, that's what I mean. You could just any old tough guy, action guy who's not, The Rock. Like I wouldn't want to see. The Rock in it. I heard they're doing a new sequel for Sisu. I can't wait. I want to see Sisu. Sisu? When I was a kid, it was called a teeter totter. Um, no, Sisu is one of those that's been on my list to see forever. It got great reviews, and all the clips of it I saw were fantastic. So now that it's been on streaming for like a couple of years, it's always popping up on my to watch thing, and I'm like, oh, I'll get to Sisu later. I'll Sisu later. Do you know they have a trailer for the sequel? It looks pretty badass, to be honest. What insects would you like to become if you had to become one? Oh, well, that's a toughie. Because in general, who wants to be an insect? But maybe an ant. Even as a child, I was impressed that ants could lift whatever it is, like 600 times their own weight or whatever the hell. It's like that's why when you see them carrying like a big breadcrumb or you know they're strong by God. Spider Man. He seemed to have a good go of it. But yeah, in general, I would try to pass on it. Praying mantis. I'm kind of tall and lanky. That would suit me. Have you seen Stuntman? I think you might like that one. The only insect I want to become is either a butterfly or a ladybug. Oh, you took mine. John Getz is a good character actor. Uh, I never get John Getz. I don't know. I've never seen Stuntman movie. Chris, check it out. Have you seen Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves, where he's the victim? No, I have not. That sounds interesting to me. Is it an old movie or a new movie? Can't wait for the Sisu sequel. Seesaw sequels by the Seesaw. Yes, Juno, you will like it. Juno, I appreciate anything that Finland is part of my favorite band from Finland, so I'm biased a lot. You big Ghost fan or something? What is Sisu? I like to know. Sisu, Seesaw saved by the Seesaw. Give it a watch, Russell. Yeah, it's wild action, looks crazy. Last favorite Alien movie was number three, no Romulus. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I mean. I take that back. Thank you for correcting me, Mayan. You got my back. I appreciate you. Yeah, when I put that in my review of Romulus, that I was very impressed by it because have to come low expectation of Alien movies. So Romulus was like and that I feel like the new Alien Earth is a lot like Romulus. It's that type of story. It feels like something else in the Alien universe without trying to constantly mine it Ripley. Anyways, we'll watch an Alien movie and talk about aliens some other time. A good Nazi warrior shit. I love always good Nazi warrior shit. Sonny Sisu is a Finnish concept embodying extraordinary determination, resilience, and courage in the face of extreme adversity. Damn, you were a good typist. I would have made so many typos in there. And what it means is a badass action revenge movie. I like it. Romulus was decent. Okay, yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys. I meant that hunk after part three where they go the resurrection or whatever, and the two the Alien versus Predator movies. Neither one really knocked my socks off. I like the one with Lance Henriksen and the pyramid in the snow enough. It wasn't great, but it was cool. But that what Requiem or whatever. Oh, absolutely terrible. So yeah, I enjoyed Romulus, and then now the Alien Earth. Me too. I have three revenge films: Last Off the Earth, Tortured Bill, Straw Dogs. Um, Three favorite revenge films is tough because there's so many good ones. I think we talked about one other time we were watching a revenge movie. Um, Revenge with Kevin Costner is really good. I Spit on Your Grave. That'll keep you up at night. I know Toby, and discussing that one with him was really fun. Really? You know Toby? You're the coolest, Stacy. Always. Life Force is the shit. Everything Ever in Order. Oh, man, look at you. Kurt Russell instead of Jeff Goldblum here. Ooh, I would see. I don't know. It's hard to imagine Russell becoming bad. Like he plays a smug dick. Okay, if you need him to be a bad guy in that way, but like in this. Part of Goldblum's charm is that he feels like a nerdy scientist, but he also feels like if he was a little, you know, chemically enhanced, let's say, drunk, whatever, that he might be like an erratic problem. So he's always kind of like, a minute away from snapping. Um, there's the fade to black for probably the end of the second act. Goldblum realizes that he's been mixed with the fly and will now become Brundlefly. Dun dun dun. Um, Kurt Russell, I don't know if he could go from likable to unlikable in this movie. Like the idea of Kurt Russell becoming a monster is hard for me. Those dimples, that dimples and that hair. No monster could have hair like that. Russell Sisu is about an army commando soldier in World War II is holding gold and no one with the war in Nazi Germany trying to get the gold, but destroys them in every brutal and carnage ways. It sounds fantastic. I also like spontaneous combustion. That one is terrific. The concept is pretty amazing. Maybe that stuff is true. Things be blowing up. I prefer Kurt Russell over Jeff Goldblum, but I might get flack for that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I love Gold. I would rather choose Russell over Goldblum in most situations, but for The Fly, Goldblum just works. He's erratic and weird, and that's what he needs to be. I met Kurt and Goldie in Northern Ontario years ago. Great couple. They seem like nice folks. They're Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. Would adding Rodney Dangerfield to the scene be helpful to add to? Would adding Rodney Dangerfield to this scene here be helpful to the movie's tone? Hey, I don't know. These guys, forget about it. I told my doctor I'm turning into a fly. He said, go strip. I don't know. That was off the dome. Free Rodney Dangerfield for you. Hey, forget about it. No respect. The broken arm serious is carnage. Yes, it is. It's like I say, they do it just how you're supposed to do a good scene like that. Show me the real shot, cut away. Show me the real shot, cut away, cut back to the fake one, and then I'm conditioned to not pay attention as close. So now here we see him like full on starting to turn into a fly. He's walking with the canes. He's walking on like the tips of his feet. His hair's starting to like fall out and look all stringy. His face is covered in sores. So we're at the oh yeah, he's looking bad. We're 1 hour and three mark. There's 32 minutes left. Yeah, these effects are great. I don't know if it's great enough to let the guy who did the effects direct the second one, but still. Um, let's see here. What movie characters would you break off? Oh, Steven Seagal. First, didn't even have to think about it. See how quick that came to me? Because it's always the same thing with Steven Seagal. He does something, whatever. You punch at him, he grabs your arm and breaks it. So what I do is I wait for him, and then when he comes to me, and then I grab his arm and break it. Ha ha! A little dose of your own medicine, Steven Seagal. Take that. Take your broken arm and go home. Um, let's see here. Randy Dangerfield is great and back to school. Right? Hey, yo, forget it. But the triple Lindy. Oh, Wang, what are you taking pictures for? It's a parking lot. Can you make a Manhattan? Can you make a shoe smell? Jeff Goldblum was a wild card actor for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Crispin Glover would be a good fly. There you go. There's another person I would watch as the Fly. Videodrome is weird. What the fuck film, but still a masterpiece. Yeah, I don't always know if I understand what Videodrome is about. Like, it's clearly a statement about television and what it means in our lives and how we're becoming a part of it and the new flesh and all this stuff. But even then, it's just sort of a weird trip out, like acid trip movie. There's a lot of those around that time. We were talking about Hurt. What's that one? Altered States. That's a weird ass acid trip movie. Video Dream is worth the fuck, but still a masterpiece. Yes, I agree. I liked Spider. That was good. Yeah, Spider's that'll work. It's scary though, right? Uh, I enjoyed Videodrome. Let's see here. Juno, yes, and Easy Money. Oh, Easy Money's a classic. He tells two bald guys, "Why don't you guys put your heads together and make an ass of yourself?" Here's one of the more famous scenes in the movie where he vomits onto his hand and he explains that's how flies eat. Like I never knew that. Like I never, when I was a kid and I saw this. So that's how I learned how flies digest food. Like they throw up on it and then it, instead of the acid in their stomach eating the food, they put the acid outside. So to learn that from this movie and see like how he eats a donut or whatever, it's so disgusting. And then his ear falls off like in this comic masterpiece moment. Like, oh dude, is this your ear? Sean says spontaneous combustion over the Mangler. The Mangler is just flat out dumb. The killer washing machine one? Ronnie Dangerfield was hilarious in Little Nicky. Ronnie Dangerfield's hilarious in everything. I love Easy Money. Me too. Big fan of Videodrome, filmed in Toronto. Russell always reps for Canada. Videodrome, Dead Ringers, Spider, Eastern Promises, History of Violence, Naked Lunch. Videodrome, Dead Ringers, Spider, Eastern Promises, History of Violence, Naked Lunch. Really, The Fly isn't in your top five, or Dead Zone? Stacy, you got eclectic tastes. I like it. I like it. Easy Money, the classic from Dangerfield for sure. My Cronenberg six shooter. Shivers and Rabbit are old school. Yeah, yeah, those are the ones I thought of. That I marked them as old school because early Cronenberg feels almost like indie film. You know, like they almost look almost like Hots or something like those cheap fake pornos they used to make in the 70s. Like not real dirty movie, but they might as well have been a dirty movie. That's how those look to me. I mean, isn't Marilyn Chambers in Rabbit? Is that which one it is, or is it Shivers? I don't know. I get confused. Rabbit, right? Um, Back to School is my favorite film of them all. Horror Queen agree. I agree with you, Jen. Back to School is pretty awesome. I'm still a Caddyshack guy though for Dangerfield. I was looking at his filmography and I haven't seen much of his work, but I noticed Maps to the Stars has John Cusack in it, so I should check that out. Oh, wait, are you talking about Cronenberg? Let me see here. I've only seen a few of his movies, Carrie, and they're wild. Yeah, like Scanners is good. I recommend Scanners as entry. Cronenberg. The Dead Zone is my favorite, probably Cronenberg. Um, as I mentioned, The Fly and Dead Zone. You can see I waffle back and forth. They're both great. Um, Maps to the Stars worth your time. I haven't seen that one. Ben Franklin stops Jaws electricity like in Jaws 2. I'm for it. Yeah, the ones I've seen there, wow, man. Let's see here. Many of the remakes and prequels, they missed the point by adding the woke and political message crap, and a lot of the callbacks in the original films gets annoying. Yeah, they want to put like modern, redo stuff and try to like whitewash it, and they lose their edge. His son Brandon Cronenberg is just as crazy at making films. I don't know what Brandon Cronenberg films I've seen. And we've seen the biopic Ray with Jamie Foxx. I have seen Ray. Brandon Cronenberg was Possessor. Oh, Possessor. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I have seen Possessor. That was creepy and scary. Sonny, his performance as Ray is excellent. Yeah, I'm not a big Jamie Foxx guy all the time, but the uh, Ray and Booty Call and Any Given Sunday. There's my top three Jamie Foxx for you. So here, his hair's all falling out. His face is disgusting. He's a slimy mess. His teeth are like jagged rocks. And he's talking about he's becoming a 185 pound fly. But his performance here is so over the top. Like you have to be a big, like, yeah, maybe Christopher Walken could have done this. Like I say, Crispin Glover probably would have been a good one. How about Johnny Rotten? John Lydon from the Sex Pistols? Go with him. Readapt Bonnie and Clyde. Who directs an X? I would go direct. I would either go Tarantino or Fincher. And Axe, I would go Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. Stupid things I say late at night. Hi, man. Don't eat the plastic. I do like the band Ghost, but Nightwish is my favorite band. Ghost is more so Swedish, and Nightwish is Finnish. Oh, there you go. I'm being ish racist. Racist. Whatever. Romulus was solid. It was much better than Covenant, but does have some issues. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Covenant, and I always do that. I forget about those damn prequels because there was this whole thing where Ridley Scott was like trying to deny that they were Alien movies when they were coming out. That's not a prequel to Alien, and it's like, well, it's in the Alien universe. So I always forget about what is it, Romulus and what's the other one, Prometheus, right? No, Prometheus and Covenant, and then Romulus is the thing that whatever. See, they're getting too Greek goddish for me. Um, yeah, I do forget about those two. They're better than Alien Resurrection, but I don't know. I'm in between on them. Like I found the first one interesting enough, and then the second one, we are way deep into alien talk. And the second one, I found what's his name? Was Fassbender? His performance was really good in it, and I remember thinking he's kind of stealing the movie. What do you do if you tear off someone's arm? Uh, Beat him with it? Speaking of Henriksen, Pumpkinhead is a Halloween film I love to watch. A creature design is just incredible. I haven't seen Pumpkinhead in a while. I saw that in the theater. I may need to talk with you about Pumpkinhead. We'll see. Toby Hooper, Salem's Lot is a great film. Well, it's pretty iconic that his vampire sort of Nosferatu version is pretty damn iconic. Pumpkinhead is underrated gem, Gary. Yeah, Pumpkinhead crazy. I definitely agree with that, Juno. Such an underrated gem. Forgive me, I'm apparently having late night allergies, but I will work on not being too stuffy, nasally. They imply Kurt Russell's character as an executive decision as a deadhead. Oh, well, or a dickhead. Ghost and Night Wishes are great. Everybody's complimenting her on her music choice. Part of Pumpkinhead is a bit of revenge movie mixed in a horror movie. Yeah, it's spooky and creepy, and it's got the old witch and the Pumpkinhead monster. I love Pumpkinhead. Saw it in the theater. If I wanted any collectible, it would be a Pumpkinhead. That'd be a cool thing to have in your house when people walk in. Pumpkinhead Movie Maniacs figure was one that brought first cause that he was the tallest. I agree, Russell. Let's see here. I agree. I've never seen White Wish twice, and the pleasure of getting the pick with the keyboard's brain behind the man. Oh, look at you, flossing you, pretty fancy bona fides. This movie's pretty short. Yeah, once again, I think I got spoiled by old school movies in their time. I often think of a good movie as being 2 hours. If you can get it told a little early, the better. But once we get past 2 hours and 10 minutes, you're risking me checking out. Here's where they figure out that Gina Davis is pregnant and she's going to go and have the pregnancy terminated. And David Cronenberg is playing the doctor performing the surgery. And this is one of the more memorable scenes. She gives birth to like this maggot, but apparently the original. Well, they shot several extra endings for this movie. There's a documentary about I can't remember what it's called. It comes with the Fly DVD. It's called like Fresh Flesh or some crap of that. But in there they talked about how they filmed scenes that would end the movie, and one of the scenes where Gina Davis dreams that she gave birth to a beautiful butterfly child. I like the I like just this maggot scene alone. It's creepy and weird and grosses you out. Uh, Mrs. Night Owl was pregnant with our daughter Mia, and I made her watch this, and she was like, "You have to show me this, do you?" I also made her watch Rosemary's Baby. I was like, any of the classic horror movies around Halloween for pregnancy, we gotta watch. You bastard. Let's see here. What kind of ascot would you wear? Any of them, right? I'm an ascot kind of guy. I wouldn't be caught dead in a bow tie, but I will wear an ascot. I will look good in it too. Like, how you doing? Have you seen a Pumpkinhead figure? That's badass. Django. Jamie Foxx is good in Django. I'll give you that. That's how far back I am. Jeez, I'm sorry. Let's face it, almost a good movie. Okay, so here now we're talking about the Brundlefly Project, and he comes to the conclusion that if he teleports with another human, that their DNA will all fuse and that'll fix him. He's crazy. Steven Skull did one where he knocked, where he voiced was Dub and fought a bad guy while sitting down. Was that the China agent or whatever? China salesman with Mike Tyson? Because you always ask the greatest questions, right? I love Stacy for that. Like she's become a channel staple now. Like when she's here, when I'm at a watch party and Stacy isn't here, I'll be like, "Where's she at?" Um, but yeah, she always asks the funnest questions. Her and my friend, two boys and their scary pops, and my friend Guy, caveman movies and more. Also, great questions always. It's so cool. I hope NECA will make a new one because that movie Maniacs figure was stupid money now. Yeah, a lot of those collectibles are worth awesome coin if you keep them in good tact and everything. Uh, if you're into fine collectibles, be sure to check out my friend at the Horror Cat Dad. He's always got the dopest NECA stuff and everything. So if you're into curious of what the heck we're talking about with NECAs and collectibles and whatnot, the most amazing action figure things you've ever seen. You couldn't call them toys; they look more like little miniature statues, but uh, all sorts of cool stuff. Ew! I think that should be the tagline for this movie. Forget be afraid, be very afraid. Let's go with ew. If you were a parachute that went really, really slowly, what would you watch? Hmm. Oh my goodness, that is a tough call. What would I watch? I would go with do I will it let me finish the movie before I land? Because I'm gonna go with the Lord of the Rings extended edition. I agree. I love your questions. Um, Alien Earth looks like they're going to reference the franchise just to hope they get all woke crap in it. No, it's not too bad. It's mostly whatchamacallit, Timothy Oliphant is in it, and he plays like a synth or whatever the what you would call Hendrickson and all them. Um, it's a lot about corporations in the future and stuff. Like I said, there's Blade Runner stuff there. It's all about like how corporations run the world instead of governments, and they're trying to capture an alien to use as a war, tool of war, which is like one of the premises that's always been on with aliens and stuff. But it's a lot about like philosophical ideas and Alice in Wonderland and whatever. I don't know. We're due for some alien talk on one of these scenes. That vomit scene was when he throws up on that guy's ankle, burned in my head as a kid forever. Yeah, that's gross. The defense of acid vomit. That's speaking of aliens. It ties it all back to it. It's the same type of thing. The villain with acid. So even if you can't really hurt them because they're just going to get their poison on you. Makers NFC watch out of Africa, but I love it so much. Oh, to Meryl Streep. Shout out to Meryl. If Tim Roth called you and said you wanted to make a new Fly, would you let him? I would let Tim Roth do anything. Well, not anything. I'm married, but you know what I mean. Donovan enjoyed Django Russell, but still find Franco Nero Django a badass one. I've never seen those old school Italian Django movies. I never heard of them until Django Unchained came out. Then later on going through streaming, you're like, here's a Django movie. What the heck? Um, yeah, I really like to go through and watch those sometimes. Especially Franco Nero. Spider is really underrated. Yeah, that's one I've never seen. I need to check that one out. Ray Fiennes is creepy in that one too. Thanks for that from Carrie and Jen and host Don. Oh, Stacy, no, we love having you here. You're welcome, Makers. Uh, I always say it. I say it every stream. The co-host of the show is always the stream. You guys bring everything to life. If it was just me sitting here rambling about these movies, you'd just be called a friend. You poor person. But instead, we get to be friends in a community together and talk about films and the stuff we love and ask questions and bring up weird shit. And I dig it. No problem. Thank you too, Akers. We should do a stream together too soon. Pumpkinhead is called Vengeance the Demon too. Interesting. What if Ray finds anything in the game? Voldemort is just amazing. Do you like comedy? See no evil, hear no evil. Is that the Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor one? Um, or is there a sequel to the Kane horror movie? The Miami Vice movie was boring, and even Jamie Foxx hated doing that film. That's another one I don't think of as a good movie, and I've heard that I need to go back and rewatch it. Like I love Heat, obviously, Michael Mann and stuff. So it seems like I would dig that Miami Vice movie, but I remember just thinking it looked like I live in Tampa, Florida now, and all day long I just see sweaty, gross people. I don't know if I need to watch sweaty, gross people for a whole movie, right? I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, watch Cronenberg Spider, Carrie. Richard Donner says he doesn't want to direct The Omen. It's 1970s. You run Fox. Who do you pick to direct? In the 1970s? In this fictional world, is Roman Polanski in trouble? Can I uncancel Roman? Well, uncriminalize action Roman Polanski. Whatever we do with him, he would be good. Obviously, anything with Kubrick at that time, that might be too much for him. I don't know. Kubrick's The Omen might be a thing. I would watch that. Brewster's Millions is a great Richard Pryor classic. I love Brewster's Millions. That's a movie I frequently think about. Like whenever I'm going to spend money frivolously, like I stop and think, like, what am I actually buying with my dollar right now? Like, I try to explain that to kids, with the video games and stuff. They want to buy skins and da da da. It's like, yeah, but you don't own anything. You bought a digital gun on a game. It's not a tangible thing. So I think about Brewster's Millions all the time, like just money that you're spending on things that have no real value. Heartburn with Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson was also really good. See, Carrie knows all the classic dramas and romances, but then she also knows all the horror and stuff. She's one of the few channels that will do deep cut horror, but Lifetime channel movies. Who wore an ascot better, William Friedkin or Richard Donner? Is Richard Donner the one that was involved with the Star 80 lady? Yeah, that rhymed. You know what I'm talking about? I think that's him, right? Is that him? Yeah, I get a lot of the 80s people I get confused. Well, that's Peter Bogdanovich, right? That's Peter Bogdanovich because he was an ascot guy too. I'll go Richard Donner then. I like Richard Donner. At least I like his films. Please don't send me articles about what a terrible person Richard Donner is. Do you like Spookies? Does it have breast elements? Um, I have only seen Spookies once, and I'd like to rewatch it again. Uh, if for nothing else than the Joe Bob Briggs music video he made for it was, "Hey, we're watching Spookies. It's a very confusing movie. Hey, never mind. I'm probably gonna get sued by Joe Bob Briggs now." So here now they're at the real doctor. Um, we've got we're coming to the end, right? Yeah, there's 14 minutes left. They're in the doctor's waiting room, because she's with child and she's afraid of what child is going to be. And the creepy, sleazy guy, the whole movie with the beard, he takes her there. So there's this weird love triangle thing. And then here comes Goldblum busting through the windows like the Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah. And he picks her up, and it's total King Kong. Like he just runs away with her, like scoops her up and runs off, damsel in distress. What's that old movie with the giant gorilla that carries the woman away? Looks like that. Sean, are there many spiders in this movie? More so body or brother than human centipede. Anyone Gosling is Crockett. Who is Tubbs? Ooh, Gosling is Crockett. I love me some Gosling. That probably should just be my answer whenever you ask me who would I cast in a modern remake. It's like Gosling. He can do anything. I'm a big Gosling believer. Who is Tubbs? Um, um, hmm. That's a toughie. Um, Bad Bunny. This chat had like 15 people at one point, but only 12 likes. Double check the likes and hit that before going. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate people always looking out for the likes. Like I say, once again, please feel free to subscribe as well. I'm only less than 25 away from 1,000. As you know, that's a big mark for a YouTuber. So I'd like to see that big 4-digit subscriber number there. That was rambling and stupid. Sorry for that. But please, I promise the content will be better than that. Spider isn't actually a Spider movie at all, Carrie. It will always be around to talk Pumpkinhead. I love that about you. Make a song movie adaptation of the Monster Mash 4 quadrant hit. Um, yeah, I agree with that. I would watch a movie about the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. The witch was scary, fucking Pumpkinhead. Right? That's one of my favorite horror movie witches. There aren't a lot of good horror movie witches. She's one of the better ones. Her and those ones in uh, Clash of the Titans, the old school one with the eye that they pass around. Um, she's very scary, Juno. I agree. The witch definitely brought the perfect ambiance of creepiness. Lightning in the witch scene is spot on. Where would you fly to if you were a fly? If you can't fly far, what location would you primarily want to live or fly around? Oh my goodness, that is see once again the best questions. Um, oh my. Well, if I'm a fly, I have some sort of what do you call it? Stockyard, butcher yard, whatever, or somewhere where I can just eat a bunch of meat. I don't know. The world's biggest cookout. Flies love potato salad. I know that about them. Flies will love a good potato salad. I love when you have a great finale payoff after a slow burn first and second half. But movies nowadays just go with the pretentious and abrupt endings. See, one of my problems with movies I keep finding though is the drawn out ending. I don't remember who said it. Tarantino has talked about it before, but whenever you make, in particularly a monster movie, but any movie really, once the monster's dead, the movie's over. I've said this a bunch of times on stream. Sorry for repeating myself. So that goes for anything. If you're doing a heist movie, the heist is going to go wrong and everybody's going to die. Maybe one person's going to get away. That's how heist movies work. When that's over, it's over. Show me the credits. I don't need some long, drawn out thing where the lead character talks about how they feel or whatever. The movie will build to a climax. The big action ending will happen. The resolution to all of it's done. Okay, now let's go home. Let's take it home. So speaking of taking it home, sleazy beard guy. I had a college professor who looked exactly like this dude, so I can't help but think of him. He looks kind of like John Ritter. Um, when John Ritter had the or had the beard. So yeah, dude's in the house. He comes busting through the skylight, vomits on his hand, and it dissolves and is disgusting. And we just get all these crazy shots of like his reaction, which always makes it worse. And you can just see his stump bloody and falling down. Now let's pay attention. It's his left hand here, and he's holding it up very prominently that it's the left hand that's been, acided off with, fly puke. There he pukes on the ankle. And so he's just totally mutilated this guy. It is absolutely disgusting. And they just keep cutting back to his face. Like this, he's not writhing or like trying to put up a fight. It's more like closed, like cross-eyed. I can't believe this is actually happening, because who could possibly believe this would actually be happening to them? So, anyways, it's his left hand. But later on, after the whole conclusion, when she picks him up and they're it's wrapping up, you can't the left hand is apparently I think it's on the right hand later on, or it's not. There's a film flub there we're gonna be looking for. This part where he's climbing on the walls, this is an old bit in film history. You actually build a room that rotates. So when your actor crawls on the corner, you spin the room to one side, and then when he goes up to the ceiling, you spin it again. They did the same thing in Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, when Turbo is dancing inside the room. Um, I think for what's it called? Inception. For that one, I don't think they built a spinning hallway. I think in that one they actually just used wire work. So yeah, we're coming to the big climax. I never realized how much Goldblum looks like Louis Gossett Jr. in Enemy Mine here. They look like they could be brothers. No offense. Was that racist? I don't know. Ed Harley. Um, Sean, oh, then I'll check out the trailer. The Butterfly Child was me. Spoiler alert. Aw. The Seventh Sign. Seventh Sign's a creepy ass movie. That's one. It knows how to push all the buttons. It's not. There's not scares there in the Seventh Sign. Like I never watched the Seventh Sign. I'm afraid to go to sleep. But the whole time I'm watching it, I just feel kind of like something bad's gonna happen. I think the Seventh Sign's tone actually works better than the Omen. But the Omen's just got too many classic scenes. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. Lava Lantula was funny and sequel. You take that back, Lava Lantula. When you give birth to the worm and like how Ripley have a nightmare of giving birth to the xenomorph and aliens. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was talking about with Mrs. Night Owl when we watched Rosemary's Baby. A woman being pregnant is a vulnerable thing, and understandably so. You're protecting yourself and the life inside of you. You're worried about all that goes along with it. Um, we're late enough into the stream where only the hardcores are paying attention. I currently have another daughter on the way. We found out a couple months well this week we found out it was going to be a daughter. We found out we were pregnant a couple months ago. So my daughter Mia and my son Nino and my daughter Valentina are going to have a new little baby sister coming. I believe right now the due date is 4/20. So right on. So like, yeah, Mrs. Night Owl right now, stuff like this is going to mean a lot more to her than the average person because it's such a vulnerable time. You got a lot of emotions and everything. Horror movies are ripe for folks like that. My daughter Mia was born last year. Like I said, her birthday's coming up. She's a Halloween baby. She was born October 20th. So she's been watching horror movies her whole life. Like she came out and was just watching horror movies from day one. Even now she watches The Walking Dead with us. Um, but anyways, yeah. So this was my informal announcement to my buddies on the internet that we got another baby coming in the spring. Um, so it's easy to see poor Gina Davis or Ripley or anybody else going through these things, and it's a scary bit of business. The professor also asked some awesome questions. I love me the professor. Yeah, he hits you with the pop shit, pop quiz hot shots. I love that. I can't find Carrie's channel. May, will you put Carrie's channel? I bet you did. I bet I'll scroll down and see it. Why am I even asking? Someone want to link that? Global with Anthony Perfect Movies. Remember my name? Is that a great? I don't think I've seen that one. Sonny, what about Willy's Wonderland? Nicolas Cage is the best in that movie. He doesn't even speak a word or work somehow. None of the characters are disposable, so it's so funny. Yeah, a lot of people thought Willy's Wonderland was basically just a ripoff of Five Nights at Freddy's. Even though it came out first, it's a ripoff of the video game. Um, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was weird and crazy and fun. Sorry, the climax is happening here. He's got Gina Davis locked in the telepod thing, and the effects on this all look great. It looks like this could be now. If they tried to build a modern day teleporter, it would probably look like that. And then here we see all the sequencing things and all that. I'll never understand why his door, I'm assuming maybe because it got broken, but the door on his final one where he pops out, the glass is gone. You can't see through the door anymore. So here's where the door opens, the scene pours out, the big Gina Davis look on her face, and the gross ass fly falls out. It just looks like a giant. It looks like someone took a fly and skinned it. But then it gets up and walks, and the whole room is full of steam, and it looks like a Roger Corman movie. This looks like Galaxy of Terror right here. And then this is, yeah, Gina Davis puts him out of his misery. And then let's see how many minutes it takes past where she handles her business here before the movie ends. There's approximately 3 minutes and 45 left, and how many minutes of those are credits? I bet they get right out after she pops them. Oh, sorry about that. Um, there's Carrie's channel. Thank you, May. I wish they'd make an Archie versus Predator or Batman versus Predator. I'll take that over the Prey movies. You didn't like the Prey movies, Juno? I'm surprised. Um, I enjoyed Prey. Uh, didn't like that the Shane Black one, the one with Keegan Peel. No, Key, right? Key, yeah. Um, I didn't enjoy that one. Thomas Jane and all that. That one sucked. That fly. Somehow he looks so sympathetic. He's got like sad eyes. Yes, you're a gross, bloody monster, but you look like you need a hug. And he just blows his head off. But that's an emotional performance for her. She does it while crying. And then, I don't know, low budget version of me is sitting there with the busted arm. Bobo Don. Thank you, May. You're so sweet. You're welcome. Yes, that link, if you're watching along in the comments or now, or if you've seen this later on, be sure to check that out. So there we go. Fly created by Chris Wallace, not Biggie, baby. A different Christopher Wallace. And he's the one who directed the part two with Eric Stoltz as the baby of the Fly. Um, what are your thoughts on Fly 2? Besides, I think Juno said he thought it was all right, but let me know your thoughts about Fly 2. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. Let me see here. Hype Man, Bob from Batman or Joe Pesci gets from Lethal Weapon? Um, I don't know. Bob from Batman is my number one guy. There you go, free ASMR for you. And then let's see here. Joe Pesci, whatever you want, Leo gets, right? What are your favorite three scenes for The Fly? Oh, look at you, Stacy. You read my mind. Yeah, one of the things that I've talked about in the past, I believe it was Howard Hawks who said, um, the what makes a great movie? Three good scenes, no bad ones, right? So if there are three really good, memorable scenes in your movie and not one, no scenes in it where anybody's just like rolling their eyes at how stupid it is, you've got a great movie. So, I would say the first time we see the teleporters when it opens up and the steam comes out and there's that iconic thing. Like I said, he steps out looking like Statue of David and shit. The part and then the baboon jumps up and he holds it and all that. The part where he throws up on the ankle and the wrist, and then later on when she's at the doctor and he jumps through the glass. Like I think all of those are trailer moments. Like you can probably find gifs of those on Google right now. Like those three big moments, all iconic, all super memorable. Not to mention the giving birth to the maggot scene. That's pretty messed up, right? Um, Regarding this movie, it made, let's see here, budget of 9 to 15 million, I believe. Let's go 15 million, and then it said box office was 60 million. So that's a huge success. Domestic, it made 40. So that's pretty damn good. Like I'm surprised there never was like a more of an attempt to try to make The Fly a franchise. They've tried to make sequels several times beyond Fly Part Two, but they always just fizzle out and fall apart. Um, Now I see how I couldn't find it. The handlebar was different from her name. LOL, what happens? Oh, okay. Love that Nick Cage. Oh, you're talking about Willy's Wonderland? Yeah, it's almost a silent performance. It's really good. It's creepy and weird and fun. It reminds me like an Evil Dead movie almost, kind of silly. The Fly makes you want to eat chocolate bars, hey everyone? Yeah, exactly, and donuts and whatnot. Willy's Wonderland, another movie that was surprisingly good and brutal. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Favorite Double Dare obstacles: giant peanut butter jelly sandwich. Dig the flag out of the big ear. Right. Uh, Double Dare was a body horror for sure. I will say that. That's ew. No. Sweaty Fly enhanced chocolate bars. Top three Nicolas Cage movies. I'm curious. Oh, that's super tough, especially without looking at the list because I'll forget crap. Um, I'll go. Face Off, Con Air. What's my favorite Nicolas Cage of all time? Oh boy, that's tough. Um, The Rock is really good. Um, Face Off maybe because he just chews up so much damn scenery. Um, mm, uh, I don't know. That's tough. Next time I watch a Cage movie, I will unveil my top five Nicolas Cage. I don't know. Valley Girl, right? Valley Girl, always Valley Girl. Resurrection County was a brutal film. Never seen it. Stir Crazy is a classic with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. I love Stir Crazy. That's another one I've seen a ton of times. Funny, wacky movie with good comedians who work well together, but also a prison escape movie. Fun. You know what I mean? Got your crime drama, you got your jokes, you got Grossberger, big fat King Kong Bundy looking guy, right? Love me that. And it's a rodeo movie. Not enough rodeo movies out there. Uh, 8 seconds. Big 8 seconds fan, am I? 7 seconds, whatever. Oh, well, I will do anything. Love me some horror, comedy, drama, thriller, psychological, paranormal. I do everything. I'm very eclectic. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about you, Carrie, is that that's one of the things I do with this channel. I love horror and sci-fi and thrillers and documentaries the most, but I'll check out damn near anything. Around Oscar time, I usually end up watching some weird, dramas and sci-fis and indie films or sci-fis, romance and indie films and stuff. But in general, I prefer, give me a good kung fu movie. Joe Bob Brooks is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I love me some Joe Bob. That's great. I love the jail scene in Stir Crazy. Oh shit. Speak no evil, speak no evil. Wild at Heart, Living Las Vegas, Wind Talkers. Wild at Heart's pretty damn good. Living in Las Vegas is just so hard to watch. Like he just literally drinks himself to death. It's so sad, and I think Elizabeth Shue in the shower crying with the blood. Ugh, it's traumatizing for me. I'm too much of a kind soul for these things. I'm gonna call you Stacy from now on. Is that cool? Make New Fly soon. Don, have you seen the King of the Hill revival show? No, I have not. I do like King of the Hill though. My mom and my stepfather love some King of the Hill. Whenever I visit them, I watch it. Those are good ones. I love Wind Talkers. Adam Beach is such an underrated actor. Yeah, I don't know. I still can't think of my favorite Cage. I would probably go, yeah. I don't know. Moonstruck is pretty damn iconic, but Face Off, right? Face. Um, yeah, probably Face Off. The Rock. Con Air. I don't know. Put down the bunny trailer trash. Or, hey, my mama lives in a trailer. Let's see here. I'd say remake Fly 2. Diane Weiss, the Good and Rosemary Baby prequel. She was Ruth Garden. Yeah, you saw that. I watched that. Apartment 7A or whatever it was called. I was like, hey, there's a prequel to Rosemary's Baby. Weird. Um, and like I said, I'd watched it relatively within the last year, relatively recently. And yeah, Diane Weist as Ruth Gordon kind of sucks the life out of it. No one can be Ruth Gordon. She's Maud, right? I love Harold and Maude. Any replacement for Ruth Gordon, there's just no such thing. So Diane Weiss does all right. What's her name? Julia Garner is really good in it, but it's worth checking out just because it's hard to believe they actually made a prequel to Rosemary's Baby. Wind Talker's an underrated war movie. Carrie John Woo directs every kind of impactful scenes. Yeah, John Woo. He had a period there where he owned the world. Skinwalkers is a werewolf movie. Yes, please. Captain Beach is Marvel's shaman now. Look at you going deep cut. Rosemary's prequel is meh. Oh, you saw it too, Sean. That a boy. Stacey Diaries kills it. Rosemary prequel. I like the prequel more, to be honest. Well, Carrie with a hot take. I love a good hot take. No, I would still go with it. And even the whole thing where they like tried to make, they show that they get all the women to cut their hair. Apparently, Satan likes a short haircut, a pixie. Was Goldblum Oscar snubbed? Which of the five would you have booted for Goldblum? Um, mm, I don't know. Oh, thanks. John Ritter sadly missed enjoying playing the older Ben on It miniseries. Yeah, he is good in that. That's what I was thinking of with him and the beard. If you like Adam Beach, Stacey, I recommend Smoke Signals. It's really good. The Fly in the Dark ride, the Fire in the Dark Sky ride. Vomit, Damn Acid Burns, right? It's brutal. Look what happened to Rosemary's Baby Now film. Oh, that's right. There was a sequel to Rosemary's Baby. Like, whatever happened to Rosemary's Baby or something like that? I've never seen that one. Smoke Signals is terrific. I love John Ritter in the It movies. You ever see John Ritter in oh God, what's that one where he's single? and there's like a giant the glow in the dark condom fight scene. Some sort of Blake Nelson movie. I can't remember what it's called. That's a wild one. This is great effects on the time they wanted to make Spider-Man movies from the canons. It's 1990s. It's 2000s. Oh, you like the original It over the new It? Um, Hurry is so iconic that I think they both have their own place. Like the old school miniseries it feels like TV. Like when I watch it now, it feels clunky and some of the shots aren't really all that great. Mick Garris is a good fast director, but as far as like big imagery, he's a wonderful guy. I like listening to him. Whenever I see him interviewed, he seems like the coolest dude ever. But his direction is mediocre at best. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I would think that it is very enjoyable up until you see the new one, and then there's so much. It's the difference between old school movies and modern movies. The modern movies beat you over the head with all the imagery possible, but they burn it up. They leave nowhere to go. You always gotta have somewhere to go next, and a lot of times nowadays they just throw everything at you. What is that fly machine thing called? The circular design of that, etc. How the device work? I don't know. I'm assuming it's pretty much the same thing as Tron, right? Like when I was watching Tron, I was thinking of that. They scan somebody just like you do with a 3D printer, and then they take the information and they try to rebuild it. But when they took the information, they got fly in it, and when they rebuilt it, they made a man fly, Brenda fly, something. I really sold that. Want to buy a teleporter? I'm about to shock y'all, but I haven't seen The Omen. Which one? The original Omen? Because that's kind of a classic. I remember as a kid loving that because it's so creepy and weird. It made me afraid of dogs and the nanny. Like I said, it's all for you. Blah blah blah. But um, the remake with Liev Schreiber, the only reason they made that is because it was going to come out on June 6th of 2006, so the release date could be 666. That's the only reason they made that movie. It's like they had a release date that needed a movie. So yeah, it's mediocre. There's a few cool deaths in it, but that remake is not good. Ew, gross. Ew, congratulations, Don. Yeah, thank you. Another little girl. I'm gonna have three girls and one boy. So my son is gonna have to beat up a lot of people in high school. This movie delivers very serious, gory, and sticky carnage. I agree. Congrats, Don. That's great news. Thank you. Yes, we are very excited. The Omen is a great satanic horror film. Yeah, and it came out right before the big satanic panic that came out in the '80s with all the heavy metal and the devil worship, and everybody's a secret devil worshiper, man. You never can't tell. So that movie really helped, as a stepping stone to societal craziness, mass hysteria. Congratulations, son. Your family cheers. Yes, yes, I'm very happy. Thank you. Congrats. Thank you. I thought the Willy Wonderland was much better than the version of the Five Nights at Freddy's. The Five Nights at Freddy's is weird because it's got that same thing that Black Phone has. Like, I'm not used to horror movies dealing with the kidnapping of children. Like, I'm used to, dumb co-eds running around in the woods and it's really played by a 24-year-old woman and but little kids and kidnapping and missing children, all that, that's a lot of emotional heartstrings to put into horror, but that's what horror is all about. I remember in that Texas Chainsaw, the most recent one Netflix made, I was like, wow, they're talking about school shootings in horror movies now, and I'm like, well, yeah, that is horrible. That's when I think of real life things that are horrible, that's horrible. So, you know, basically, as things get worked into, you know, as everything gets done, we have to find new stuff that's horrible, and they do a good job with it. If you were Mel Brooks, what other drama and horror movies would you have produced? Yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. We were talking so much about this. There's so much to talk about this, and aliens. We did a lot of aliens talk tonight. But when we were talking about this, I forgot to mention Mel Brooks is one of the producers. Cronenberg wanted him to make a cameo in it, but Mel Brooks is like, it'll bounce everybody out of the movie to see my silly ass pop up. Um, so I don't know what other horror movies would I have produced. Anything I could. Um, as long as a horror movie isn't just a pure exploitation grab, like we're gonna take a movie that's a substandard product and shouldn't be uh, for public consumption, like it's not a commercial product. That's a lot of times with horror movies. You'll see a cool cover or a poster or a thumbnail or whatever, and you watch it, you realize this was shot with an iPhone or back in the day shot with a camcorder. But because they dressed it up and made it look like it was an actual, like something worth spending money on, this is a professional quality product. And it wasn't. Horror's guilty of that more than any genre. You know, the real super low budget, nobody should have. This isn't on the same level with other movies. So, in general, any horror movie that's actually worth its salt, I would love to be producer of. I don't care what it is. Abby is a black for the Exorcist film. Good fun. What? Look at the fly. Very tragic and sad. You kind of feel the emotional pain that the butterfly is feeling. Right? He has those big sad eyes. I used to have a Shih Tzu that had eyes like that. It looked like he was an old drunk. The look of the fly looks very tragic, satisfied. Same quote. Gina Davis has been in the Mission Impossible movies. Yes, Gina Davis could be in anything. I'm a Gina Davis head. Like I'm pro Gina. You know, she's when they remake Jaws, Gina can play the shark. Gina's awesome. I like Gina Davis. She's had like several TV shows. Like I think she even had one called like the Gina Davis Show and stuff. She's a bigger star than people give her credit for. She's from the 80s and 90s. She's one of the bigger women stars out there. It's just not you, Carrie. Um, Flies work hard. Yeah, they do. Most new movies suffer from that crap. Yeah, definitely. I want to get coffee with Mel Brooks and just laugh about nothing, right? Don't pray do nothing for me. It was a Predator that I found boring, and the lead wasn't that interesting. Um, I enjoyed Prey because it took a new twist on it, like the old, going back in time thing and the battling against Native Americans and whatever. I watched some other movie. I can't remember what the name of it was, and it was a movie just like Prey, except it didn't have aliens in it. The reason I watched it is the wrestler Brody King? Is that who it was? The guy who was in the WWE and then he passed away. He went to AEW and he passed away. He's got the big beard. He was part of the original Wyatt family. Not Brody King, Brody Lee. Brody Lee, that guy. He passed away. Well, he was in this movie about Native Americans, and it's basically the same movie as Prey, just no alien in it, like our Predator in it. I mean, so yeah, I felt like I'd seen it all before. Was my only knock against it. Otherwise, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. At least it took it in a different direction. I'm curious about Predator Badlands. I watched Spinal Tap 2 the other night. It was hilarious. I don't know when it's talked about it. I want to see, that's my most anticipated. I think it's a Warner Brothers. I don't know. When it comes out on streaming, I will be there first day. I should have saw it in the theater. It's an IMAX this weekend. I love the original Spinal Tap so much. Maybe when Halloween's done and I'm done watching all these spooky and scary movies, maybe we'll, sort of refresh ourselves and cleanse ourselves in the tap. It's like how much more black could it be? Great stream, chat and Don. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate you, buddy. Awesome effects in this movie. Great performances, right? It's a classic. It's uh on my scale, the Night Owl meter, I've never done this one yet, but this is clearly a movie in the 90s. It's not perfect. It's got little things here and there, but overall, it's damn near perfect. It's art, arty and thoughtful. It's got subtext. It's got great special effects, well directed, well acted, good music, right? It's as far as close to a 10 goes. This movie's right there, especially for horror nuts. The Fly 2 is decent. The kills are vicious. Eric Stoltz is great, but a weak story compared to the first time. Who's the woman in that? Is that Daphne Znuga or whatever her name is, the one from Spaceballs? Who should be the new Mr. Magoo? Old boy from the V. Spinal Tap 3 was cool. Of Elton John and their song Stonehenge. Um, I think it should be a Miss Magoo and it should be me, the only kid. Uh, I would watch a Carrie Miss Magoo movie. That would be fun. What's your favorite ruthless non-horror villain? Ooh, well, I don't know. That's a toughie. What's his name? Trouble Owen from Stone Cold. Isn't that his name? Is that the guy that like blew up the school for nuns or something like that? That one always makes me laugh out loud when they read that. But I guess that's violent, so I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Maybe Reese Witherspoon in Election. There's a good non-violent criminal villain. I enjoyed Predator Badlands more than Prey. Kind of has a Predator 2 vibe in that first trailer. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested in it. Mr. Magoo talk. Predator Badlands makes me want to get eye surgery after watching that atrocious CGI. Absolutely awful. Um, What's that new cartoon too? I didn't watch that. There's a Hulu Predator cartoon, I believe, and I haven't got around to it yet. I need to talk to my friend Trashed Picture Show, Marty, if you guys are familiar with Marty. Otherwise, check out at Trashed Picture Show on YouTube. Marty's the man. He'll give you all your Predator and Alien info. I love the old Mr. Magoo episodes and no idea what's going on and it gets funny situations. Yeah, Jim Backus, the millionaire from Gilligan's Island, Mr. What's their last Howell, Mr. Howell. Um, he's the voice of Mr. Magoo. Oh, Magoo. Who knew I do a Mr. Magoo impersonation? Connor's my all-time favorite Nick Cage. Blah 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 blah. Nick Cage film in 8 millimeters is unrated. Oh, I forgot about 8 mm. Yeah, 8 millimeters is pretty scary and good. It's sort of a that era's version of Stag with George C. Scott. Ooh, ruthless non-horror villain. I would give it to Alex from Fatal Attraction. Glenn Close. Those nails are crazy as well. Yeah, but she kills a bunny. That's pretty ruthless. I had Mrs. Night Owl watch Fatal Attraction as well. I make her watch so much horror, sci-fi, silliness, dark comedies. It's like, let's watch just a classic, let's watch The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Have your children seen Good Burger? No, they haven't. They are 9, 7, and almost 1. So the 9-year-old still likes K-pop Demon Hunters. So does the 7-year-old. Otherwise, they watch a lot of like Boss Baby. They try to find stuff that the little 1-year-old will also sit and watch with them. So Boss Baby, Bat Wheels. There's a show called Bat Wheels. It's all about the Batman cars. It's fantastic. Will you see Marty Supreme? I don't know, maybe. Oh, indie films have my heart. I love them the most, to be honest. A24, yeah. Michael B. Jordan is The Fly. Michael B. Jordan's pretty good too. Michael B. Jordan would be a good Tubbs. There you go. There's your Crockett and Tubbs. Um, Sean Connery. Face Off, take Face Off. Jason for Freddy. I would take. Yeah, I would like to see that. Um, you're pushing it, Acres. Hey, 59th is here. Was this Fly with Vincent Price? Howdy, Don Russell. This was the Jeff Goldblum. Uh, we discussed. I don't really know. I may need to watch the Vincent Price one sometime during a non-horror area. Right now I'm doing all my classic favorite horrors, but I'd like to rewatch The Fly with y'all sometime and see what you think. I find it slow. Um, Don Russell, CWO, take it off the Great White North, cutie place to be. Coo, 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 coo. Throwing in a hot take. I'm not afraid. I like it. Sup 59. Hey 59th. Yeah, everybody loves 59th. No read it. Talk about another person who's got good shorts. Check out 59th. He's always got like the craziest wild like avant-garde editing. Like he would be a good 1980s music director. Uh, Freddy vs. Jason vs. Predator was released in the same date, August 15, 2003 and 2004. I didn't know that. That's good trivia. Vera Farmiga as Medusa, and maybe not a main role or the main role. Skin Deep. That's the Blake Edwards one I was thinking of. There you go, Blake Edwards. I heard the ending they wanted to use originally with Freddy versus Jason was to have Jason holding Pinhead's skull at the end, leading to that set up for a sequel. All rumor, I suppose, from what I heard from her. But yeah, that whole versus universe, they were trying to get Freddy versus Jason forever. And then they also had the rights to Evil Dead's. They were going to do Freddy, Jason, Ash. And then the Freddy versus Jason fell apart. And then they did what was it, part 7, where basically Freddy or Jason fights Carrie or a ripoff of Carrie. And then, they kind of went around and around. And then what is it? And Jason Goes to Hell, the Necronomicon shows up. Um, yeah, I don't know. They basically all and or is it the knife, whatever. But there were supposed to be these crossover things, and then Pumpkinhead was part of that universe. I think they even have like a Pumpkinhead versus whoever comic book series. Maybe Pumpkinhead versus Alien. That'd be a good fight. I'd watch that one. We just need to make this film in general. Stocks, AC. I would go for a Benusa film. There's not enough snake-headed women out there. I figured there was this one, Russell. Not many watched the Vincent Price one. Yeah, it's a slower one, and this one is just so classic, and it's always a Halloween watch for me. I feel it's a horror masterpiece. I prefer the It miniseries. Not a big fan of the 27 It found fun overrated when I first saw it. Um, I'm curious about the new HBO show, and see where that takes it, if it'll add to it or whatever. I believe those two It movies, aren't they the highest grossing horror movies of all time? The Andy Machete ones? I don't know. Um, but In general, I enjoyed them. I thought Skarsgård performances Pennywise was pretty good. I thought there was a lot of heavy duty blood, scary stuff. The Paul Bunyan scene, all of that. The watching the movies in the basement, a lot of creepy, good jump scare crap. Um, the first one, I just think Tim Curry's iconic performance just carries the movie. He's so creepy in all of it that it just you know he he's a one man movie in that damn thing. Um, I hold the original near and dear to my heart, but I do enjoy the newer. It's Skarsgård brings something new to the Pennywise table. Yeah, he has almost like a childish, like the big cheeks and stuff. I don't know. Have spiders flying in Arachnophobia too? Maybe the science work that Julian Sands was helping them make spiders fly. Or they have spiders. They need to be careful. Look at you taking it all around, bringing it to Jurassic Park. Papa Don, amazing broski. Yes, we are all very happy. We're still kicking out names, so feel free to throw out a name. Nothing mean. We've got a handful of girls' names, but we're looking to make a big list. I've not seen any Omen movies, to be honest. Something about demon children. Yeah, that's a subsection of horror that bothers some people, is scary kids. Jack Quaid, Arachnophobia 2. I just watched the film The Other from 1972. Plot kept twisting, and my thoughts up loved it. I've never seen The Other, I don't think. Jack Quaid was awesome in Novocaine. And Novocaine was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the last two Omen movies, Carrie. I didn't see what's the newest Omen. Wasn't there a new one like within the last 5 years, 3 years, something like that? I didn't see that one either. The Abominable Dr. Phibes and Dr. Five Rises Again are classic. I would agree with that. Yeah, Children of the Corn, as far as I would go, May. What about The Children? You ever seen The Children? Omen is terrifying. Saw that on like 13 years old. Yes, Russell. Dr. Fives is Camp Club classic. The other with the twins. I haven't seen that one. Mel Brooks and Stanley Kubrick together. Dun dun dun. They could rule the world. I get it. Things with children are not for everyone. Yeah, May, and I know you've lived this, or anybody with children or who's had children in their life. There'll be times you'll just wake up in the middle of the night and there's a small child standing in like the doorway or like just at the foot of the bed. It's there's a second there where it's scary as hell. Like even though it's your kid, it's like okay, that's frightening. So yeah, they're any more adding to the awfulness of children. They're gross enough on their own, I tell you. I love the little shits, but terrifying. Weapons was pushing it far for me. I need to see Weapons. That's that and whatever I mentioned earlier, the two big ones I want to see. Village of the Damned, man. Yeah, Village of the Damned, just because those kids are creepy albino kids, extra scary. Weapons is great. Remake of the Tingler, Mr. Sardonicus, rig the cinema seats with gadgets like William Castle. I'm all for that. A vibrating seat is my jam. Wait a minute, that came out weird too. Oh, the main character Alex actually is my favorite character in Weapons. Um, let's see here. Chucky, whenever, however. Village of the Damned when she puts her hand in that scalding hot water. Is that a scary scene? It is a bit. Chucky Punch Fanta Soda was good, man. Like bubbly Hawaiian Punch. LOL. Yeah, I've been checking out the Fantas. We had the Michael Myers pineapple here. It wasn't bad. Um, Geena is Quint's daughter. I might take it. Love the OG Mr. Sardonicus. I heard they want to make another crappy Chucky film to add to the show. I have heard that they're going to have a movie for the show. Yeah, I just want the cans to keep for display. Yeah, I kind of do too. Juno, behave. And it's like, I love when Mayan capes for Chucky. 59 at the Chucky Punch. I drank it when I went to see the movie Big Bold Beautiful Journey. Be nice to my baby. BRB, I have to spend a penny. Okay. It's called the Mohawk much better than Prey. Oh, Mohawk. There you go, Juno. You know it. Yeah, see what I mean? It was a very similar type movie with like settlers and them battling with the indigenous folks and except they just threw the predator into that one. You know Mohawk. You get it. You feel me. Bride of the Chucky asked me my favorite Chucky movie. I still like the original. Did the new Face Off movie with Ace Ventura and Drill Bit Taylor become the say Ocean Wilson? Well, I could see Owen Wilson in a Face Off movie. I love Bride so much. Yeah, it's a classic, but I still go the original one best. Halloween Ends does hit me when they want to bring out more appeals like Chucky and Michael Myers films. Yeah, that's true. Rank the Children of the Corns. Ooh, one, and then what's the one where Malachi shows up and moves in? Um, or no, not Malachi. The main dude. I can't think of it. The black hat, and the older looking guy, the dude who looks perpetually young. Forget it. I've already blown this. Moving on. So, Children of the Corn 666 would be my second favorite one. I can't remember whatever that one's called. Gina will be doing a Chucky stream together then. I would like to see it. Mohawk is trash, but that villain with the bone mask does look cool. I just shut it off because I didn't have much to offer. Yeah, I thought Mohawk would be better than it was. You may come from me with Tiff. I love Tiffany more than Chucky. Well, Tiffany's a spin off of Chucky. There wouldn't be a Tiffany without a Chucky. But I think Tiffany's got her own following. One day, the Walmart around here, there's like a cop car parked in front of it with the lights on always. It's like a SUV. And I think it's to like keep people from doing stuff in the parking lot, but there's never anybody in it. Like it's kind of just parked there with the lights on, like how they do on the highway sometime. And one day I walked by and there was a Tiffany in the passenger seat belted in. And I was like, I know what you did. You murdered somebody. But I don't know. That always blows my mind. Now, whenever I see Tiffany, I'm going to think of that. Let's see here. Maybe we'll for Killer Clowns before I'm done, man. I would like to do Killer Clowns from Outer Space soon. I'm sorry, maybe but Tiffany has more pizzazz. Oh, you guys. Are you planning on dying soon, Sean? I hope not. Make the cowboy way too? They could. Kid Sister needs the film Expect Chucky Empire. Hollywood too busy making things to be the original, though. I agree with that. The CWO, I might have to get a hoverboard to make fight zombies with. I would be interested in that too. 59th, I need something in my childhood to not get ruined for me. That's true. Don Juno called me baby Flucky, baby Sporky. How dare he? Juno. Bad Juno. That's a bad Juno. Don't call May mean names. There, May. I defended your honor. Uh, oh, tomorrow's never promised to any of us. Who knows, man? Could be right. Jesus has took a dark turn. What have you guys been talking about while I've been so far behind in this chat? Nothing, Sean. Hang in there. Carrie, my buddy doll, after my mom saw the Chucky trailer. Yeah, I remember that was the thing with Chucky. It was extra scary because of the My Buddy doll was out at the same time. Like, there was, those dolls were everywhere and they had the little commercial, my buddy and me. So when they did the Chucky stuff, it was like, well, this is clearly just the My Buddy doll, and now everybody who has one has to live a life of terror. Excuse me while I get rid of this frog in my throat. Ribbit. Go to the last drop. Thank you. Johnny Depp calls you. He says, what character should he do in the new Pirates of the Caribbean as a fun scene? I don't know. Something rum related. I find that character is only entertaining when he's drunk. But luckily, he's always drunk. And then he says thanks and invites you to his rock show. I don't know if I'm tough enough to kick it with Johnny Depp. It seems like he lives wild. The pooping on the bed and whatnot. I take the Two-Faced Chucky from 3 over the Buzzcut Chucky from Cult of Fucking. Oh, and then Mayan laughs. Cult of Sporky. That's horrible, but I gotta give kudos for the mom for caring. Send Chucky back in time, the old medieval times, and then he can become Chucky and run the guillotine, become the new royal bloodline, King Chucky. Like Army of Darkness with Chucky, I'm in. 3 was my first horror movie. This is my favorite of all times. My first horror movie, I don't know. Might have been Halloween. My first horror movie is like a Universal Monsters, like some old black and white thing that I watched in the middle of the night. I think it might have been Creature from the Black Lagoon. But I often don't consider those old Universal black and whites as horror. So I think my first modern horror that I watched was probably Halloween. Well, color, etc., from the 70s on. Johnny Depp is done from Amber Turd and would like to continue Pirates of the Caribbean and 21 Jump Street reboot. Um, that's what they should do is do a gritty 21 Jump Street like Miami Vice. He's always been a king, but yeah, that's a great idea. I'd like a Breakfast Club style movie where you get to know Jason, Freddy, and Michael, and then have it pair off against each other in each movie after that. Jason versus Michael, Freddy versus Pinhead. I'm all for. Or have Jay and Silent Bob meet all of them. That was a discussion for a while too. They were going to do like the old Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein or meets the Invisible Man or whatever, and they were going to do Jay and Silent Bob meet Jason or Jay and Silent Bob meet Pinhead. I would be interested in those. Then the winners pair off against each other in the future movies. I like a good round robin tournament. Pet Cemetery was my first horror movie, therefore Stephen King has a special place in my heart. Yeah, I also probably saw uh, um, Salem's Lot around that time too when I was a kid. I saw Dead Zone in the theater. So even yeah, by like 6 and 7 years old, I was already well into horror. You know what's a good not horror but was a horror at the time when I was a kid is Westworld. You ever see that? The Yul Brenner? Like as a little kid, that movie creeped me out. Yul Brenner's scary. Misery Lady versus Serial Mom. Who wins? I go Serial Mom Lady. Stacey would appreciate anything Breakfast Club style because it's one of my favorite films of all time. I enjoy Breakfast Club. The castle lights are going dim. There's no one left but me and next to him. And the Frankenstein doesn't come alone. Vincent Price ending the speech. Hamilton on time. Much really tell show. You always know the good Vincent Price stuff, Russell. I like that about you. Readapt Silver Bullet. I would take a Silver Bullet remake. Um, yeah, find some kooky, eccentric actor who's still around to play the uncle. Get kid actor de jour to play the Corey Haim role, and then yeah, I'm sure you can find I don't know some teenager from some show to play the sister. Should be easy enough there. Just cast it with you without even naming a name. Have you seen the Castle Rock show? Yeah, I loved Castle Rock. Well, I wouldn't say I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. I mentioned it kind of earlier when I was talking about or Alien Earth. Um, they find a way to take all the Stephen King and they just sort of make like a stew out of it. That's what they did with Fargo. It's like they just take all the Coen brothers and just put it into one pot, and stir it up, and make a new concoction. And that's how Castle Rock felt to me. It all felt familiar and it all felt like stories I know or slightly adjacent stories I know. But it was an interesting twist. I enjoyed the whole thing with what's her name? Misery and, Annie. That's it. The First Omen is a prequel. The one that came out a couple years ago or whatever. Carrie Pet Cemetery was my second horror movie. I love it so much. Never heard of Castle Rock show. I grew up in Castle Rock, Colorado. I grew up in Stephen King. I always thought it was a bit like Silent Hill. It is a bit like Silent Hill. Andromeda name? Andromeda Strain. I don't know. I do too, man. If Fred Gwynn is iconic. Yeah, I love Jed. And now I want to play with you. Do you like Fulci? The Fulci I've seen, I do like. That's another one I need to go on like a binge, go through and try to find everything on streaming and familiarize myself with a bunch. But the Fulci I do know, I do like. But isn't there two Fulcis? Isn't there like Lucio Fulci and Mario Fulci, Luigi Fulci, Goomba? Bowser, something like that. Wait a minute, these are all Mario names. Remake of the Running Man looks like a crap and still enjoy the Arnie classic. The only interesting thing about the remake of the Running Man that's coming out is it's directed by Edgar Wright. I always wanted to call him Edgar Winter. Edgar Wright. So I will probably check it out because of that. Like I like him, so I will give him a lot of leeway. But yeah, we'll see. Rasputin a horror movie. I think they did make a Rasputin horror movie. It's HBO did a mini series of it, but I think there's a horror movie version. I would not want to watch a remake of The Running Man. Well, the Arnold Schwarzenegger classic is different from the Stephen King, well, Richard Bachman novella. Um, so it's this new version is more like that. It's more, I think it's closer to like what do you call it? Total Recall. That's funny. I couldn't remember Total Recall. I couldn't have planned that better. Um, Yeah, I think it's closer like to that. It's got more like of a big expanded future world that we see, and it's more interesting. Whatever. So yeah, I would like to watch the new one and see the story play out. I trust Edgar Wright. Sonny, I love the monster. Herman Munsters is a classic monster, right? I love him. Isaac, thank you. That's who I was trying to think of. See, Malachi's the big name everybody remembers, but I couldn't think of old boy who looks like he looks like an old man even though he's young, and then even later on when he's like older, he still looks like a young man. Creepy. What are your favorite De Palma movies? All of them? No, De Palma's an acquired taste for me. Obviously I like Carrie. I like Carrie. Crave Cinema is what I like. No, I like Carrie. Uh, Blowout is probably my favorite De Palma. No, my favorite De Palma's Untouchables. Um, but yeah, De Palma's what do you call it? Raising Cain is pretty damn good. Um, mm, what else? Oh, Mission Impossible. That first Mission Impossible is pretty damn awesome. That's kind of a masterwork of action. It launched a billion-dollar franchise. Universal Jab at ABC's Adam's Family, The Munster both came out the same year, but Adam's Family predates with a comic. Yeah, that's the thing, the old school black and white. I think it was like a newspaper type comic, like Charles Adams, Adams Family. Uh, my family, my kids are asking us to be Adams Family for Halloween. We'll see. We're debating it because I'm a natural born lurch. Right. If they ever make Jaws, I'm coming for some people. Oh, they're remaking it. They had portrayed Rasputin in one of the Kingsman films. Laughter. Two can fight, one can win. Running in Friday the 13th or Friday the Part 3. Running from Friday the 13th part. The girl from Part 8, not Part 3. Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis star in Car 54, Where Are You Before the Munsters? I do remember that. Don, this is what happens when you speed read, right? Poor Don, we were driving him crazy. No, I love this so much. Like, one of the things I enjoy about these shows is getting to talk with you guys and hang out. I love when we get a big group in here and everybody's throwing in their thoughts and crazy things. So, yeah, it makes me laugh that we're now, oh God, a good half hour past the movie being done and we're still getting caught up. So I love it that you guys are here. I'll hang out all damn night with you. Um, let's see here. Do you want to see action movie about a relief pitcher that's about to get cut from the team that becomes the hero and saves the day? 7 inning wreck. I love it. I'll green light it. Green light. Johnny Depp and Charlie Sheen would be good roommates on an MTV show. They would be. I'm just talking about new stuff with Chucky movies. I'm getting tired of them making it look like a joke and it's just some crap. I still haven't watched the new show, the Sci-Fi Channel show or whatever. It's on streaming now. I've been meaning to catch up with it, but the remake, I didn't really dig that much. A lot of people thought it was okay with Aubrey Plaza or whatever. But there's just so much Chucky universe now. It's so big. It used to just be the Chucky movies proper, one, two, three, etc., Bride of Chucky. But yeah, with the show and all of it, it's just so much. Same thing they've done with Michael Myers, right? Yeah, too much Michael Myers, too many different universes, can't follow the streams they're in. I do hope they make one Chucky scary again. Um, First horror as a child was The Killer Shrews with James Best. You know what else might have been my favorite or first horror movie, or at least one of the way early ones, was Dark Night of the Scarecrow, I think it's called, with what's his name who played Dr. Giggles? I can't think of his name. That guy, the Scarecrow with the Friday the 13th Part 2 bag mask over his head with the one eye. That's all scary. I remember that as a kid watching it and being half traumatized. Like, that's a scary thing to see. Um, Larry Drake, the guy from Darkman, that's his name. Wow, The Killer Shrews, under the film, Mr. Science Theater, Amazing Russell. Rules in order to hang with Johnny Depp, bring a diaper. No shit. Make Splatterhouse video game into a movie. I would watch that. I played Splatterhouse as a kid, or as a teenager at least. Christ, I'm an old geezer. Not as old as me. Well, maybe it's close. Westworld, is there your early Jurassic Park written by Michael Crichton, other Stephen King? Yeah, the Westworld with Yul Brenner, with him. They say the Michael Myers walk is based on him, right? Nonsense. You're my baby brother, Russell. I hope they do a sequel and remake and not a sequel to Don Fettuccine Chucky films because that dude doesn't know how to make good Chucky films, and that's always bitter at the Tom Holland. I love it when Juno goes on a rant. Let's see here. Would you mind a Cube remake? Please just cast it well, do a specific justice. Those Cube movies are good. I enjoy them. I don't know if they need to be remade unless you're going to make like a big, huge Cube movie. But they're kind of like, sci-fi Saw, right? Saw in space or whatever the fuck Cube, Spork Cube is supposed to be in. First season for Castle Rock was decent. It's interesting. The second one's got a bit of a Salem's Lot plot and a few other things. They show the prequel to Misery where you meet Annie, Don Fettuccine, and she's dead. Best friend in high school had a Cube poster. Yes, it was Carrie. That'd be Wellesley done. 59th. I was 3 when I watched it in 59. I was probably selling killer shoes with the MST3K comedy style. The shoes are dogs and outfits. Very cute. 59th, I love that movie. It's great. Just needs some slight tweaking and tightening of the story. Sonny prefers Cube 2. I prefer Gleaming the Cube with Christian Slater. How many Fulcis are in your universe, Don? So many Fulcis. I got all the Fulcis. Cube 2 was not as bad as Hypercube. Carlito's Way is underrated. It is underrated. Blowout, I know Tarantino said that was his favorite film. Yeah, the only problem with Blowout is it's a bit like schmaltzy. Like there's the part when well, I'm not gonna spoilers, but there's a sad part and they play like just like really heavy, sad music. I think that's like a De Palma thing. Like he loves like letting the audience know he's there. And that's not always my thing. I like, when Scorsese, Scorsese doesn't reveal himself to the audience. Tarantino reveals himself to the audience a lot. De Palma reveals himself to the audience a lot. But if you see like music choices or editing cuts or whatever, they're sort of jarring and it reminds you this is a movie. De Palma's big thing is the rear projection. Like when everybody's driving, there's the weird, jacked up, bad rear projection behind them. I don't know why he does that. Tarantino mimics it in Pulp Fiction later on, um, and in Kill Bill. It's just a weird, like surrealist. This is a movie, not real life thing that they like to do that I don't necessarily agree with as a preference. Malachi's quite memorable name, and Isaac not as memorable compared to. Right? That's what I'm saying. Although Malachi is just the long redheaded guy, Outlander, we have your woman. He's just that guy, the dude from Hot Bodies, Hard Bodies. Um, but the Isaac, he's the creepier one. He's the one everybody remembers. Most people think Isaac is Malachi. Cube 2 is Hypercube. And then what's the third one? Cube Zero, and that's a prequel, I think. Well, thank you. I like this dude named Don too. Oh, wow, I'm still that far back. I love you, Carrie. We're gonna be here for a while. Blowout stands out as De Palma's best for me. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Lithgow is scary as hell in it. Sunny Eyed Moment, sorry. Jaws, they did that absolutely with seven Sharknadoes. Carlito's Way, Al Pacino. Jesus. No, they did that with Cruel Jaws, Fat 59. The lady that gives the Stephen King pen to Rennie in Part 8, Friday the 13th, hitting on her. Maybe. I don't know. I have trouble picking up signs. Group time for sure. A gremlin clue for certain. I've been fed after midnight. LOL. Sharknado is just dumb as hell. I agree. The Boneyard is so bleeding funny. Sonny loves the Boneyard. Phyllis Diller and a giant poodle. I should be sleeping, but here I am. Well, thank you for being here. What John Grisham movie do you want to be in the scenario of? None of them. Everybody in those movies is in trouble. I'll be Wilford Brimley in the Firm. I want that role. I might be doing a watch party for the Boneyard, Russell. That would be great. I would like to see that. I love shark movies, but Sharknado, nope, not touching those. The first one's fun. It's goofy, almost like trauma style goofiness. Like the movie's silly for the sake of being silly. I did enjoy the silliness of the Boneyard. Larry Drake from Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. There you go. Santa Jaws, funny. Larry Drake equals Dr. Giggles. I have a beat up VHS copy of that. Alexander Ardrao calls he's distraught over his recent darlings dealing with Ridley Scott. He has been offered to make Christine again. Do you advise Mr. Ardrao? You ask the best question, Stacy. Um, yeah, I would tell him go ahead and make Christine because I would like to see his version of it. Like, what's he gonna do with it? Is the trunk gonna or the hood gonna eat somebody like a monster? There's no telling what Alexander Rajah might do. Juno says, great stream, Don. Have a good night. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you hanging out. It's been a long one, man. We went almost an extra hour. I appreciate it. Carrie, my favorite part as well, Resident Evil 4, like with the chainsaw. Um, I'll schedule the boneyard, but if no one shows up, that'll be a 15-minute stream. Sometimes these things happen. Good night, Juno. Catch you later. Yeah, good night, Juno. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Do you like Ramborov? Is that like a photograph of Rambo? I don't know. I don't know what's Ramborov. Just run Gummo again, Sean. I'll be there. Night Russell. Yeah, that's one of the things. Picking out movies for these to watch is not as easy as it would seem. Like sometimes I'll pick out a movie and no one knows that movie. Um, yeah, I always try to go with something I feel like people have seen just in case they aren't able to watch along with me. At least they know the movie. I've never seen Gummo. Escape Room is kind of cute, X and Saw. I love Escape Room. No one talks about those. I think I only saw one Escape Room. Is there more? Make a Pump Up the Volume Legacy sequel? I'd be interested in that. Pirate Radio, obviously. Here I am rambling. Speaking of that, feel free to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast provider. And while you're at it, pick up yourself a Night Owl Movie Talk t-shirt. There, I've done all my paying the bills. I play 259, but it's spooky season right now. November will work for that. Scrooge McDuck, Stacy. Those are so fun to watch, Carrie. Sorry I was saying good night to you. Good night, Russell. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for hanging out. I love Gleaming the Cube. Crystal Slater is my favorite. Cups is hilarious too. Yeah, I saw Gleaming the Cube in the theater, so I'm apparently a broken person. But I was a skateboarder at the time. It was by law I had to. I like the concept of cuffs. Is that dirty talk? Is that? Did you just drop some 50 Shades of Grey stuff here? Let's not talk about The Rock's new film. Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno. I was crying laughing when I watched Cuffs. John Lithgow was also scary in Santa Claus. John Lithgow, he was scary in Santa Claus. I was going to make a joke there, but you're right. He said he hated making that movie. Larry was a great man and pal. Uh, let's see here. Should there be a haunted bank movie? I'd be down for a haunted bank movie. Isn't what's it? Uh, Texas Blood Money, Dust Till Dawn too. Isn't that kind of a haunted bank? I mean, it's a vampire bank, but I like not enough movies take place in banks. Shout out to JCVD. John Lithgow in Footloose. Loved his role. Third Rock from the Sun. He's iconically funny. Yeah, John Lithgow in Footloose is actually pretty damn good. I think that's the first time the first time I ever really thought about John Lithgow was in World According to Garp. If you ever seen that one, he's really good in that. Um, Let's see here. Great Bad Man and Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger. That's another movie that's one of those. It's like I love it, but there are so many cheesy bad spots in it that sometimes I find myself laughing at it. But I kind of love Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger is the type of one we would watch on this channel because I could laugh the whole time through. Um, let's see here. There's an escape room tournament of champions. Both are solid. Oh wow! I would not want to be invited back for the tournament of champions. Okay, my sweet lovely people, I'm going to bed. This was fun. Thank you, Mayan. It was fun, and mainly because you were here, Queen of Horror. What are the first four exhibit you put in your movie museum? Oh boy, that's tough. I'd want Michael Keaton's Batmobile. I'd want one of the claymation King Kongs from the old black and white. I want that Harryhausen King Kong. Um, Let me get a Planet of the Apes, like a one of the outfits, like maybe like a Caesar or what's Roddy McDowell's character? Whatever, one of those. Let me get a Planet of the Apes, and then I want a Tie Fighter. Yeah, a Tie Fighter, or maybe the Kill Bill Pussy Wagon. But Quentin Tarantino already owns it, so I don't think I can get it. What are some of your favorite people still watching at this point? Let me know that you're still alive and actually still watching this far into the chat and the comments. By let me know what piece of movie memorabilia you would like the most. Good night, Don. Everyone in the chat. Congratulations again, my friend. Thank you. I will consider Mayan as one of the possible name choices. How about Queen of Horror? That's a good name for a baby. Have a great, fantastical night, May. Good night, May, Chuck. Yeah, that's right. Russell's always calling women Chuck. Thank you, Amiga. You as well. Cuffs regarding that they can take care of different areas by being in police, but not really. Bye. Later, man. Take care and enjoy the rest of the weekend, everyone. Good night, Sean. Be sure to check out Sean's channel. He was just doing, what the hell was Sean doing before I came on? Um, I'm drawing a blank. That's how busy I was. It's a movie I like because I was thinking about going on with him to do it. Why am I drawing a blank? Like, oh, it's Silver Bullet. Duh, you dummy. See what happens after this late at night? My brain be fried, homie. So yeah, go to Sean's channel, check out Silver Bullet. You watch that tonight. Otherwise, you can check out my watch along of Silver Bullet as a double feature with the old school Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman, the old Universal Monsters Black and White, available in the catalog of back films I've watched. Writer Albert Lanier, The Fly is perhaps the most genuinely moving film of Cronenberg's career. Thank you for joining me, Albert, and that is very insightful. Like I said, the slow descent of illness stuff is very emotional, but at the same time, there's so much gross in body horror stuff. It works on many levels. I'm May's little brother. That's what she calls me. Should Viggo Mortensen be in the next Exorcist? Maybe. I wouldn't mind it. I definitely want Willy Wonka coat and his top hat. I could see you in those. Thanks, NightOwlDon. Thank you, folks. I want this movie to be Married to the Mob. I want exhibit of Married to the Mob? Really? Mambo Italiano? Hey, Mambo? The Batcar from any of the Batman movies works for me. Yeah, because even if you did have the Adam West, I guess that's a TV show, but there was a movie. But yeah, I like the Michael Keaton original Batman. The Val Kilmer one might be of the fins, especially the Clooney one. Those fins way too big. Thanks, Sonny. 2001 Space Odyssey. Well, that'd be cool to have the computer in the living room, or maybe the big bone. How about the monolith as a coffee table? Right, just a big black monolith as a coffee table in your living room. That'd be awesome. Thanks and have a good night. Well, thank you, writer Albert Lanier. I'm glad to have you. Feel free to hang out more often. I love intelligent people. And speaking of folks that I love you for hanging out and all of you who did. We had a huge crew in here tonight. A lot of people love The Fly. The Fly is great, right? Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be watching a lot more movies for spooky season, more horror, and then after that, we'll probably do Christmas and some crazy stuff for Halloween and whatnot, what have you. Um, but I appreciate you hanging out. Being here with me, asking questions, being just generally great people. I love having you here. This was fun. Don, I think Don is being too kind. Doesn't even want to shoo us off yet. Oh no, I'm getting ready to leave in a second. But it's so nice to have so many of my friends and cool people I love so much here. What's your favorite Richard Dreyfuss performance in each decade? Jaws, 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 and Mr. Holland's Opus. Michael Keaton and Clean and Sober related to that film. Yeah, Russell has had his struggles, but he's also awesome. And you also are awesome, my friends. I thank you, and I appreciate you being here. And I wish you all green grass and high tides forever. Adios, amigos.